That's right. We're live for live drawings. Got the nice Exodia going on because you can't know what the company I work for. It's forbidden.
You say we're live, but I wish I was dead.
That's why I said I wasn't here by choice.
Dude, we did get a shout out on MTG Goldfish, and you'll hear that drop today.
Oh my god.
That.
That is
Now
right.
you
They
got
did
me
talk
interested.
about a lot of paper play in the last one, didn't they?
I don't know. And they just we were just getting, they were firing all cylinders. Just Mr. Saffron just letting us know what's up.
Not
That
that.
was the funniest thing I've ever heard, JP.
What?
I'm into.
And he was like, "We're live." You're saying we're live, but I want to be dead.
All right. I'm gonna go to Twitch. I had to use a lot of different things. This is, you get to see how the sausage is made.
Dude. People yell about root canals being terrible.
Waste of money.
Y'all are chumps.
Yeah, it is true. Anybody who does get a root canal, you suck. Okay.
It's a waste of money.
How would you know? Have you had one?
People yell about
No,
root canals
well,
being terrible.
See what I mean,
I
Josh? This is what I'm
didn't
talking
do
about.
it. I had the tooth pulled instead because they
nice.
were like, "It's going to fail," or like,
I mean,
they're
that's
like,
brutal.
like Google root canal success rate. It's like very low,
Yeah, I had them pull a tooth out of my head once. It was pretty cool.
and then you'll eventually have to have the teeth pulled. You'll eventually have to have the tooth pulled anyway.
They legit just like held my head down and just fucking. I was super nervous.
I've had something like my wisdom teeth grew in sideways, and they broke like 6 teeth.
They're nasty.
So I've had like 10 teeth extracted or something.
Dang,
Alright,
dude,
let's
that's
get-
rough.
Let's see where we
Mine
are.
never came in.
I'm
Man,
sorry.
I know people
didn't
love to
win the-
talk about teeth.
All these damn
I'm
Facebook
sorry,
groups are
I
kicking
didn't win
me.
the genetic lottery.
What, that you had good or bad teeth?
Yeah.
Yeah, I know. My teeth, some people just have shitty teeth, and I'm one of them.
Yep. Same.
Like every time, no matter, like I brush every morning and every night, and then I try to be pretty good on it.
Yeah.
And then
Floss, too.
I do, if I have the stick flosses, I'll go through them. But once I'm out of them, I'm like, I ain't flossing until I get another bag of those.
No, you gotta get the water jet thing, the water pick.
Yeah, we have a
That's what
water
I
pick. We have
I
it.
tell you to do both.
Yeah. I mean, at some point, they're just being ridiculous, right? Come on, like I'm not spending an hour on my teeth a day. Get out of here.
use. I'm at like 3 years no cavities right now.
That's pretty good.
But, like all the money I spend on tattoos now used to go to my fucking teeth.
Dude. Devin, how you doing? Hello. We're about to get this kicked off, so I just got to get the list. The
Yeah, we
list.
just gotta talk about teeth a little more, you know?
Yeah, you keep
People
talking.
love talking about teeth.
Oh.
It's worth it to get your teeth fixed, dude.
Dude,
It's
what do you
worth it
guys
to
think
take
of
care
Chip
them.
Skylark?
I have no idea who that is.
Yeah, I'm a little.
But
I'm
you should go
confused.
to the dentist.
Isn't that
JP.
from
Fairly Odd Parents?
Fairly Odd Parents?
Yeah.
Yeah.
What are you, a Nickelodeon kid? What are you, some kind
My
of
shiny
loser?
teeth.
He's just gumming it. All right. Google Sheets. We are up to 272 subscribers. Plus,
28 more.
oh yeah, before you do the 500 stream,
Yep.
you're so fucked, kid.
Oh, I know. It's going to be like 24 hours. Just straight streaming.
It might be 4 days.
Nah. You have little faith.
Yes, I would. If I had to do the over under on 24 hours, I would take the over.
I mean, the guy got in what? It was 10 hours and 32 minutes.
You're talking Croaky, the best.
I understand.
The best arena streamer. But yeah, I mean, you could do it. I would take the over on it because I could probably do it. Like if I had to try, maybe 6.5 hours. Probably only lose 2 games or something like that.
Get the fuck out of here.
You know, just that's what if I had to do like the real math on it, it would be about it would be about that many, that many games.
Hey, are you going to the Legacy for a Volk?
I won't be, no.
When is that?
It's
Next
Saturday.
week, Saturday.
This Saturday.
Oh shit! I ain't got nothing. This Saturday I can't go.
That's this.
It's not this Saturday.
Is it June? Okay, maybe.
Is it June
I
3rd?
fly out Sunday for Disney World.
Oh, on the
Really?
4th.
Nice.
Yeah, so like I could go, but it's like the last day to like pack, and our flight's at 6 a.m. So I ain't going.
Well, if I can get someone to take my shift, can I borrow a learn?
Sure, dude.
Sweet.
You got to make some changes. That deck is outdated.
What change? I don't even
I
know
would
what
I
I
would
would need
make
to change.
because right now I have a stock list because I'm in that Tiger Leaguer thing.
Yeah.
So like I have to keep my list kind of the same, but there's some drastic changes. Maybe not drastic, but I definitely would. I want to go into a white version of it and play Recruit to the Guard.
That's the one where you can search for a creature.
Yeah, with power 2 or less, or is it toughness? I don't remember.
Either or, it hits everything but
Yeah, I don't know. 'Cause
Uro.
the red recruiter is power, and I think the white one is toughness. That's why you can grab Solitudes.
Okay. But yeah, you can grab everything but Uro.
Yeah. Then you play a different package. You play some you do play some jank for sure. You guys get to see when we do all this stuff. Put them all in order. Delete all the names. Ooh. Okay, here we go. Oh, pff. Not even close. Damn it. Got more work to do.
You're on a roll, bud.
Yeah, I'm trying. All right, 241 is what we're up to, or 141 public subscribers of our.
So there's 100 people that aren't public about, or 130.
Yeah. If you guys, just so you know, if you're in the giveaway, if your status is not public, I cannot see you. I thank you for the subscription, but I have no way to figure out who you is to give away my cards.
I was about to say, we want to give you
Sis.
cards. Make
I'm,
sure.
I'm sick of having all these cards. Okay, I need to get rid of this stuff. Whoa, this guy's got the craziest name. Poison.
Dude, I got
That's gonna be a tough.
I got 2 decks here I can give away right now.
What decks?
Ponies.
All those modern decks.
One's a modern, one's a legacy.
What? Do you have my legacy deck? No, you don't have my legacy. There's 2 modern decks.
Is it 2?
Yeah, it's whatever. It's a Ragavan
I
deck.
never
and-
looked at them.
It's Ragavan and Mill.
Ravenous Trap.
Yeah,
The decks I didn't get to play.
Yeah.
you bodied. That's what you get for trusting JB.
Yeah.
That's
Oh,
your own
man.
doing.
I mean, I played an event. It was good.
Yeah.
I had,
I had
fun.
fun in mine.
Okay.
The Grand Melee.
Other than getting ruined by
Last
the
thing was we gotta do
judge.
is we create a random number generator. 141.
Ryan's Rhino. It should be in your options for YouTube to make your account public or not.
Yeah, I haven't. My original post has like the way to do it. It's just been a minute since I've touched it. No, I wanted to keep it small. All right, how does this look? How do I publix? 14 counties. Damn, dude, that is a ton, Andrew. I mean,
That's crazy.
I mean, the most I ever had was like 7, and I remember it was like, I think it was like 11. And
I was about to say it's when I was a kid because I did not take care of my teeth at all.
No,
like
just
I beat my teeth into the
live
floor.
and breathe candy.
Dude, that ruined my teeth so bad.
You follow hard.
Yeah,
I
these
bet
are,
you do.
these are the cards that we
Hey,
are
hey,
raffling off today.
Soda.
We have a Blood Crypt, a Chromatic Star, a Pimped Out Invoke Despair, a Selfless Spirit. I believe that's the one that you win for the RCQ, and then the last one
The
is
top, yeah.
yeah, and then the other one is the
Do the
Grizzle
Crystal
Brand.
Brand.
So we're gonna shuffle these up, and let's get it going. So first one up is the Selfless Spirit. This one's foil. It's nice. It's cool. It represents status. Generate. That wasn't much.
Oh, you got that from JB, didn't you?
12. What? This? I don't know who I got this from. Anna
Probably.
Martinez, you have won a Selfless Spirit.
Is that the first placer one?
First, yeah,
Yeah.
but when you played with Antonio, didn't you
Yeah.
take that in the split?
I did.
Anna Martinez,
You
I
picked
believe she played. That's Bad Bunny. Congratulations, Bad Bunny, if that's Bad Bunny. Congratulations on that.
Nice.
Next
nice.
one up is the From the Vol Grizzle brand, that weird etch foiling. It's cool. It's cool. It's cool. It's cool.
Grizzlebrand's sick.
Grizzlebrand is dope. Which he might be on this year's Cards That Died. Number
that's
1,
why.
Poison Pirate.
Well, I got some complaints on that statement.
It's hanging in there. Let's put it that way.
No.
Okay.
It's
I mean,
played.
Reanimator
Yeah, I know, but Atrax is the new.
Yeah, well,
and
yeah, but
Legacy.
you play
Yes.
both, dude.
Well, I know that. What I'm saying is that things are kind
It's
of
not
moving on.
dead.
It's hanging in there. It used to be the only target. All right.
Sure. But that doesn't mean it's hanging in there. It just means it's now has complementary cards.
Sure. Whatever you say, boss.
More options.
It's Archon of Cruelty, and those things are pushing it out because you get multiples. Invoke Despair foil from Kamigawa, that weird anime version. It's dope.
Does look sick.
That one is cool. Hopefully it doesn't get banned, right, guys? 90. Who is 90? Oak. Menth.
Hang on, that's cool. I'll have to hit him up.
Is that, I don't know if that's his, if you know this guy?
a friend of
Sick.
That's the guy who has my championship Ragavans.
Oh, sick.
Championship?
Yeah, the ones that he won with.
Mm.
Blood Crypt from RTR. Blood Crypts are so hot right now because everybody's playing Black Red. Nope, watch me fumble this. All right, let's see who gets the Blood Crypt. 14. Keeping it real in the lows today. That one is Anthony Lopez. If it was Cormier, I would say no because I don't think that guy's ever reached out. But Anthony Lopez, you have won a Blood Crypt. Who? Anthony Lopez.
No, who was the other guy?
Anthony Cormier. But he's won like 3 times and never reached out. So if I see the name, I just go, why not?
You just run it.
Yeah. Last one is the Chromatic Star foil. That is retro, whatever, all that other stuff. Let's get that last
Schematic.
one. Yeah, schematic. 12 already won. Damn. Hold on. 12 already won. Sorry, Bad Bunny, you can't win twice. Not in the same week. You can definitely win back-to-back weeks. 18. Damn, this stayed low today.
Mm-hmm.
Iran Ward. You got the Chromatic Star. Oh, shoot.
Oh, shoot.
No. There we go. Star. All right. For all those winners, the best way to reach out to us is Facebook or Discord. And then if you want to be entered in the drawing every single week, all you have to do is subscribe to our YouTube and make it public. It is that simple. And we keep raffling off cards until I'm out of cards. So, and that's impossible because I never stop buying. And
True.
I never sell them. I give them away. It's different than, never sell, only consume podcast model. So thanks for all the subscriptions. Help us grow. We'll continue on, and then we're going to get started with the show.
Yeah, let's go.
Yeah, let's get it going.
What do we got today?
I got some good stuff going on. Got to deactivate this, change where you guys can see so you can see more of a live thing. But it really just stays the same properties. Deactivate this camera. Hop into my Discord, make it pretty. Oy.
I'm listening.
You see me here. Change this. Here you go. Okay. Any last words before we go Lizzie lie live? Okay.
I don't think that's a word.
It is.
It's a sound.
All right. And as always, 3, 2, 1. I love that you guys can't hear it, but I can. And the people listening can, but you losers can't.
I don't need to hear it. I can imagine it in my head right now.
Every week we make this one longer than last week. It's going to be infinitely long forever.
You really do that?
Come on, Burr. I don't do anything.
I don't do anything.
Hold your horses. Hold your horses.
Yeah, I don't do anything.
What is going on here? Did they change these? Hold on. I gotta get this live.
Are you not live? Are we?
No, we are live. We are
playing the
live.
theme music to nobody.
That's so weird that that's not 1-to-1. Okay, whatever. We'll do it this way.
Way to go, bud.
So if you guys are ever wondering when Josh is on the phone what he's doing, he's
I'm looking for girls for pussy.
That's not me who said that.
What is
Oh my god, yes.
so
But
every
that's not. It's not like it's wrong.
it's like
I didn't say that.
every time that Josh is on the phone, if you ever wonder what he's doing,
Looking for girls for pussy.
every single time. All
It
right.
sounds just like him.
Yeah, I'm looking for girls for pussy. All right. You are
Holy
listening. There you go. Yeah. You are listening to episode 103 of Paper Player. I'm your host, Tony. I'm joined with Josh, Jeff, and JB. We got a full crew here today, and our show notes are actually pretty fun. The episode's name is What Does CoMmAnDeR Say?
What is what?
My commander say.
So before
Okay, I'm leaving. Bye.
Yeah. So before we get into the show and the show notes, if you ever want to connect with the cast, the best way to do that is through our link tree. You'll get to all our socials. We're not as active on everything, but we do try. Get in there, and then if you ever want to get entered into our weekly giveaway, all you have to do is subscribe to our YouTube, make it public, and we do a drawing every single week in the pre-show. And that's pretty much it for socials. Help us grow, man. We're trying to get bigger than everything you've ever seen. So now that we're in the hundreds, we're official. We can do whatever we want, and I'm done editing swears. But chill
Are
out
we
on
really
the swears.
official?
Yeah, we are. Actually, this week we got another shout out, and we will. I guess I could drop it now, but you've all probably know that the Limited Resources has already reached out, or they've already gave us a shout out. Well, you can each right here.
Paper Player, it's stupid.
Yep. So there's that one. And then the new one, which if you listen to this week's MTG Goldfish, they made a big shout out to the Paper Player podcast.
Paper Players doesn't exist at this point.
Okay. That's it.
I was listening to that and I heard that and I was like, oh my gosh.
Paper Players doesn't exist at this point.
See, yeah, we're not. So, thanks for the shout out. That's it.
Legitimate, huh?
Thanks for the shout out,
So
Saffron.
great.
Thank you. Big time. All right. Let's get going.
Big leaguing boys.
And we always do an after show. If you're interested in doing the after show, just go into our Discord and just hang out there. Just message at Tony-Paperplayer1, and we will take callers in the after show. And really, it's just a hangout sesh. So, this week we have the roundtable. We'll do the worst social media trends, the fake news, aka band standard, the NRG results, tier list for Legacy. Which actually, there's a '90s MTG that I don't know if you guys follow, but they're really big in like the Legacy scene.
Yep.
And every quarter, the Epic Storm. They do a Legacy tier
Those
list.
are two different people.
They are. The Epic Storm does the Legacy tier list, which is pretty cool. 90s MTG, shout out to them. They actually do a lot.
They do a lot of streaming.
They do a lot of
Live
streaming.
games.
Yep, live games of Legacy. So there's a ton on there. So if you're ever interested in like jumping into Legacy and seeing what
Dude.
these things are, get into that.
When I wanted to learn how to play, I mean, obviously it doesn't help that much, but when I
Yeah.
wanted to check out games of 4-color
Yep.
control, there's so many games to watch on that guy's channel.
Yeah, it's awesome. Those guys are like really amazing. So if you're into Legacy, like, and you're wanting to dip your toe into it, you're gonna get your plethora of information there. And lastly, we'll do Paper Players custom curations, where we take custom cards, which we do have a listener submission one, which we are going to grill.
Nice.
And then the last one, if we have time for it, we'll do band cards. But let's get going. JB, you play any Magic this week?
Nope, was at the Anime Con. I was thinking about going to look at the draft because I guess they had drafts going for some amount of time in the game room, but I was like, I don't know. I got other things to do. I got better stuff to do. Forget Magic. I don't need to play that game. That
Whatever.
game's terrible.
Whatever, nerd. Yeah. All right. Jeff, you get any Magic in?
Not too much. Played a little standard on Arena. Really haven't been playing Magic much lately. Got back into playing Elden Ring, so been doing that and playing this new horror game called Outlast Trials.
Outlast, right? This is a zombie theme.
Never heard of it.
No, so you're like stuck in a like mental hospital and you have to do these like missions for like the director so you can get out, and it involves like hiding and doing this demented stuff while like insane people are chasing you around and you have to like hide. You can't really fight back against them. It's like a big jump scare and like kind of like just eerie.
It's like a Five Nights at Freddy kind of jump scare game.
Kind of, except like you can see them coming because you have like night vision goggles you can put on when it's really dark.
Yeah.
But like they'll just pop out and grab you, and like there's a psychosis meter, so you'll start like hallucinating.
Sure.
Is this like, oh man, amnesia or something?
Kind of. It's worth checking out. It wasn't originally multiplayer for the first two Outlast, but this one they added like co-op.
Sure. Huh. Okay. The last time we used to, so for JB's birthday, we used to like get in his basement and play games like all night. And I've never seen somebody get so much anxiety by playing Five Nights at Freddy's.
Dude, it was unreal. Well, when you have 8 people sitting around you, it's dark.
And we're
And
all
they're
yelling at him.
Everyone is yelling different things on what to do behind you, just going like, "Look out! Look over there! Whoa! Hold on!" Like,
Yeah.
it's
This
a
game-
nightmare.
And we're
This
just
game
yelling.
makes my blood pressure go up, dude. It is terrifying.
So many commands are being shouted at JB, and usually because like there's 4 different inputs of what to do, so he's just got hammer hands on what he's trying to do. That's great.
It was terrible.
Those were the days. But yeah,
That was awful.
yeah, I loved it because I was one of the guys just going, hey, hey. Yeah. All right.
But besides that, I haven't done too much with Magic. Kind of waiting
No arena?
I occasionally boot it up. I'll do my dailies, and then I'll be like, I don't feel like draft. I kind of out drafted myself of Mark of the Machine, so
I just
kind of waiting for the next set.
Is the vintage cube still up?
It's gonna be up until it's the interlude, so it'll be up for the next like 3 weeks. And they're doing something where they're doing something where they're like switching out 7 cards a week, or like there's like a subset of like these cards suck, and we're just gonna alternate like so you can get like a fresh batch. So it's pretty cool.
I like that. I should try it again.
No, none of the staples are leaving, but there are some big things that are going.
It's not like they're taking out power or whatever.
Yeah, you are true. That is right, Brooks. Coltrane. We are going to talk about that social media trend that just sucks. The people that are involved in it, whatever. Josh, did you play any Magic?
Nope.
All right.
I played some Zelda.
Are you getting deep into that game, or are you getting bored of it?
At first I was kind of upset with the game, and then like I kind of like got addicted to it, and like I played it for like 12 hours straight. But I haven't like I want to go back and play it, but I've been so busy this week with like work, and like yesterday I had vinyl night, and then tonight I got a podcast, and then tomorrow I got a pack to leave for summer camp this weekend. So
Oh, nice. That'll be cool.
Yeah, it sounds like a blast.
So I've just been busy.
Yeah, that's what happens. For my Magic, I've just been sneaking in, playing that Mono Blue Standard, trying to get Mono Blue so good in Standard that we banned one of the cards in it.
Oh, good.
Dude,
The Jin.
Nah, dude, the Jin is he's if you take that out, the whole deck dies, right? Like it doesn't exist.
Yep.
C double is such an awesome card that I'm in love with that card. I want to play that in like every format. That thing rules.
You should send me a list because I still have mono blue. Like I even have mono blue built in like paper.
So I started off with 2 C doubles and now I'm up to 4, and it's just so fun because everybody's like, play Shieldred. You're like, and you'll just like copy the Shieldred, and then copy another Jin, and then all of a sudden you have like 20 some power on the board like out of nowhere, and like you're just able to like copy the Wanderers, all just the list goes on, and people are not like, they just don't care. Like someone casts an Atraxa and I'll do it, or they'll cast an Invoke and I'll just throw it right back at them. So we're at parity. It's a blast. I am absolutely loving that card. Like at first you don't think it's great, yeah, but when you get to activate like the delirium of it, when your opponent has, it's like reverse threshold, when they have 8 or more cards in the library, you get to do both modes, but copy a creature and whatever. But you can copy anything on the stack, so all the planeswalkers that are like absolutely busted against you, just the list goes on and on.
Steal immediately.
Dude, you end up in these games where they're like really long and drawn out, right? And then you have like 8 lands up, and they go like cast Atraxa. You're like, I'll copy the Atraxa, then counter the Atraxa, and then then you have an Atraxa. It's super fun. And then like a lot of like the sacrifice outlets that like beat the 5/5 ground guy or whatever. The guy that's got Ward 2, you just like make a copy of them or copy one of their crappy creatures, whatever. But it rules. It's not like, we'll get into the standard bannings, and I don't think anything from Mono Blue is going to get hit, but whatever. All right, let's get into what does my commander say. So this has like been littered on like every Facebook page, all over Twitter. Just like everybody's like, look at my commanders and what does it say about me? Yeah. So
Toxic.
I was about to say this sounds bad.
so the problem
That's
is when you just show like a bunch of commander cards, there's no like
Context.
yeah, it's just like, what does it say about me? It's like, you like to play commander. Cool. Like that's it. So
Toxtrol just means you're toxic because you want everyone at the table to hate you. Jared means you're the fun guy and you want to be around. You want to toss the monarch around.
so
No, Jared's like a fake friend, bro.
he is fake.
Right? Yeah. Fake
He
friends.
gives you monarch and then he takes it and kills you.
Yeah. So
the green blue one likes to win.
Coma. Yep. Well, this is one guy making this post. He's like, look at all my commanders and what does it say about me? It's like they're all
all
conflicting.
over the place.
Yeah, like
I was about to say, if you have like a single one where you're like, this is my commander.
that would have made more sense. But
That's,
Says
that's
you
me
have
with Cranko.
ADHD and you should talk to a psychiatrist.
yeah, like there's other ones like so these are the examples I saw. I'm like, I can't. It's like this one just shows me you started playing Magic 2 years ago because everything's like brand new. Like, look at my commanders. We're from like the last 2 years. I'm like, okay. Anyways, it's just been like littering in like every single group or whatever, and it's
My commanders say about me. I have Finn and Perforos.
so you sound like
I
you have
hate
decks that you like playing. There's this one right here, which is like, what does my commander say about me? It's 4 plus 14 other commanders. My response was, none of these are optimized. None of my decks are optimized. Because, I don't know.
Optimization and commander. What's wrong with you?
Yeah, come
Get
on.
out of here.
I'm gonna do that post and then show all my pre-con boxes.
Yeah.
There was a guy
That's
that
a
did
good
that.
one.
There was a guy that did like all pre-cons. I'm like, my comment was, I switched 5 cards out, therefore it's my homebrew now. Like, but I don't know. I just
Were the
wanted to say,
comments getting raunchy or something? Because
No.
you said it was terrible.
well, the point is everybody's posting it and no one's responding to it because it's just like these empty posts and it's just me like saying something negative.
People just want to share their commander decks.
Well, it wasn't negative. It was just like,
Look how money I spent. Look how much money I spent on Magic.
yeah, but it's
Bro,
like,
you want to talk about wasting money? Look at this guy.
oh
I don't know
yeah,
if the camera will pick it up.
oh, yeah,
that
please
was
up.
always-
I ended up getting the group, the
Damage
Japanese group, had a guy who posted
Does
that
these
up the other
alters.
day.
So this week the Reddit supposedly had a ban list that came out and they had like a very long and lengthy discussion, or not discussion, but posts on each card and so forth. And then obviously it was to be a hoax because Blake revealed it on Tuesday that it was fake. But is it? But is it fake? If they nailed it,
Probably not.
well,
I'm gonna laugh.
well, like it's not. It can't be too far from fake, right? Because some of these are pretty clear that they're gonna get banned. So
Yeah.
I think Plaza of Heroes doesn't make sense.
Fable is gone.
I don't think Atraxa gets banned
it's too new.
because once you get rid of Fable, Atraxa becomes harder to put in the graveyard.
Nobody's reanimating it. It's all the 4-color. It's all the 5-color ramp decks because that new invasion goes and puts 2 basics in play. So you go turn 4, that card, turn 5, Atraxa. People are just hard casting it. The card's brutal. Like, and then it's the invasion of, is it Zendikar? It's the invasion of It's the one that you search your library for 2 basics and put them into play. So
Yeah.
you go turn 5 Atraxa, which is like cards kind of push your land again turn 5. But yeah, anyways.
I don't think Wedding Announcement or Wandering Emperor gets banned. I don't think Evoke Despair gets banned. The only ones I think that will are Fable, Refined, and like
Okay.
Reckoner.
I think they're gonna ban. So I'm the opposite. I think they're gonna ban like 20 cards. I think this is gonna be a lot.
I also don't think that's a bad thing. Like,
Why not?
shake it up, man.
I was about to say, as soon as they announce the next ban, I'll actually go and get standard cards.
Hell yeah, I'll have someone to play
Get rid of
against.
your Shieldreds.
No, I mean those are Pioneer playable, Modern
The
playable,
Legacy
Legacy
playable.
Legacy
playable.
playable. I
Vintage.
mean, I'm fine with owning them.
Yeah.
Hey, you
Same with
remember? You remember when we talked about Children when it came out, like a month or two, and Jeff was like, "The card's trash. It's not in Legacy."
Not
And
like
it's in
It's like a
That
meme.
I will
every
stick by.
format.
It's like a meme sideboard card for Storm decks because everybody brings in the hate. But now all the Storm decks just switch to the what's the Araya card, the green 2.
Yeah, the ooze.
It's not a bad card.
Yeah, because everybody brings in the Flusterstorm, and you're like, cool, this is a
Yep,
creature.
Check it out. Yeah.
Get bodied.
Yeah, I was talking about that last week
Yep.
as I got domed by that guy.
Oh yeah.
Like, yep, I guess I lost.
But
So-
yeah, like,
No, go on.
go ahead.
No, I was just gonna talk crap on Blake.
For not
Nothing.
doing the ban. I was just gonna say I really don't understand why like Plaza Heroes was put on here.
So it's like this
Just
theory.
putting all the cards that would be good after the best deck is gone.
Yeah, so they're trying to predict. Like the post was like, here's ban cards that we know are too good, and then to not just fill the void, like here are cards that we want to ban next, which would be Esper Legends cards to bring them down a notch. So, and that's why like the Wandering Emperor is here because we don't want mono white control to be the best, or
We'll just destroy all decks,
Yeah.
so that way no one will
New
be able to...
decks have to. I guess I feel like if
They've
you get rid
never
of
taken
Rafine, Esper Legends already basically just goes away.
yeah,
I was about to say, they've never taken that stance ever on
Yeah.
their bannings of like, we need to be predictive of what's coming.
Yeah, they did.
Oh,
When?
That's what with like Reflector Mage.
yeah. Well, they did Emrakul and Reflector Mage at the same time because they wanted to hit 2 different decks.
Dude, Reflector Mage was crazy back then.
Yep.
Shit was played
like
everywhere.
those cards had to be banned. What JB is saying is like they've never attacked every deck in the format.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
been like 1 or 2 key decks where they're like, all right, Expressive Iteration, you're gone, and White Plume Adventure, you're gone.
Yep.
That's it.
Yeah.
2 decks.
So if you want, so the biggest thing with like the PT was the March of the Machines. So like the thing that they were drafting really didn't have any cards come out of it that were useful except for like two cards. So nothing was showcased, and it was because so many of the like people who were playing Grixis were like, yeah, my 75 didn't change from the last 4 months because
Nothing is good enough.
nothing has upgraded anything in this deck, and like these cards are really powerful, right? So if we're gonna have another year of this stuff and you want other cards to shine, and we've had this happen in the past, but if you want other cards to shine, you need to just shake it up. And maybe you want other cards from Kamigawa to shine that just have been just under the thumb of like there's 5 dragons
Good
from,
cards
there's
in the set.
there's
yeah.
5 mythic dragons that don't see any play because they're just terrible because there's
The red one does occasionally, but
Yeah.
that's like it.
a Shushi or whatever, that one. Yeah, so you see that one from here to there, but that's like a fringe playable, and so many of these other cards have just been buried under cards like Shieldred, cards like the Wandering Emperor. It's like, why would I play this white 5-mana dragon that's sorcery speed when I can play this Planeswalker that's it checks every box.
Way better. Yeah.
AO actually does see. It's the white and the
Red.
that see play. The other
Right.
3 don't. Because AO does see play in mono white a lot of the time because his grab up to what is it, 6 or 4 power or
It's like, see, is it converted mana
converted
cost?
mana cost
I think so.
is really good.
Yeah.
Like in that deck.
So, so I posted right here. Blake is just saying, "Oh shit, they got it right." Like if all the cards are like crap, and we just got to come out and like, what if they? I mean, if they're like 1 card off, it's gonna be like, come on, is this really a leak? But, yeah, I don't know. Just we're all waiting for it's the 29th, so I think it's next Tuesday.
It's
next-
Monday.
it's next
Labor-
Monday.
or Memorial Day.
So they'll
Yeah.
drop it, and then we'll all have the big news on it. It probably gets implemented in Arena the next day. I mean, the only cards I really care about getting banned are Fable and Bankbuster.
Yep.
Bankbuster annoys me as a
Bankbuster.
card. It just annoys me. Every deck can play it. It's one of those like. It just annoys me. It's one-
Remember when I said that when I was like, this card's just treasure map, only better.
Yeah, you were right.
Thank
Yeah.
you.
For standard, but you were talking about Pioneer and Modern.
Whatever. I
But
get it.
agree that I never said the card
Not
was
what I said.
in standard it is. But the thing that makes the card like crazy in standard is the inevitability that it can kill you on its own, because like even if you keep wiping the board, they just remove the third counter at the end of your turn and they get a creature.
Yeah, it's a
and a treasure.
So I think next week what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna take the black-red deck, card by card, pound for pound, and compare it to 2009 Jund. Like,
oh my god,
like Putrid Leech and Blood Tithe Harvester. They're the same, mana curve, but like Putrid Leech only can become a 4/4 for a cost of 2 life, whereas Blood Tithe Harvester is a beater at a 3/2, can discard and draw a card, and also be a removal spell. It's like every card just
it's just way better.
Yeah, if you look at like Kiki Jiki versus like Sprouting Thrynax. It makes a token that creates mana. Sprouting Thrynax is just like a 3/3 that makes 3 tokens after it dies, so like cards like Path can deal with it. But like Kiki Jiki's like it draws cards, it discards cards, and then like Bloodbraid Elf versus throw in any 4-drop. Like Bloodbraid Elf is probably the only card that's like in comparison to that, but just like if you just look at like what these cards are, they're insanity from like pound for pound. It's just everything is a self-fulfilling prophecy. There's no I need my removal spells, I need this. You just want everything to be all in one.
Everything is a win condition.
This is my draw engine, my win condition, my whatever. That's
I
just
was gonna say it's only creatures, but I guess we have really good enchantments now too.
Yep.
artifacts. Planeswalkers have flash.
Yeah, Planeswalkers having flash is nuts. Imagine telling someone 10 years ago, like, imagine if you could just play this Jace on their turn.
Yeah, and then brainstorm
and activate it.
Yeah. So, anyways, so that's gonna come out. It's exciting because I think once this ban list happens, everybody's gonna come running. But like, hey, we're gonna all play standard now because we know what to pick up on Arena, and then also like this ban list is going to be. We're not banning for the next year, so you're safe. Like if your cards made it through the ban list, like you get to play that stuff for an additional year. So I think this is going to be a good thing. All right. So the NRG, I don't know if you guys watched any of it. They had a pretty low attendance overall. Like their Pioneer was only, it was just like 100 man each day. It wasn't really that much. It was like 168 one day and then 109 the other day. But sorry, right here, 181. Pretty interesting. Top 8 to be honest with you. Looks like. Cascade's back, baby. Nicole, who did top 8, who was on this podcast for one of the things I did in the past, she was rocking the new Nissa in her elementals list, or 4-color control. That new Nissa is real. That card is legit.
Grabs Fury.
Grabs Fury. It's just a landfall draw. Like landfall draw a relevant spell is huge. Like it's essentially what it does, right? It's landfall, and its first landfall is Lotus Cobra, and its second landfall is go grab Elemental or Elf. And if you
The only card that's good out of that set,
yeah,
right? That's the one we're talking about.
Yeah,
Yep.
from Aftermath.
Yep. But there's no Merc tied up in this top 8, which was a little interesting. But people are
How many Rens are there
in this top 8? Just the 4-color control.
Oh, okay. That's surprising. I thought aggro might have it too.
The 4-color aggro, they're playing like Tribal Flames, and they're just trying to kill you.
They don't have space for it.
Yeah, it's the turn one Wild Nile turn to the other domain creature, or the there's 2 different ones. There's the one from Dominaria United, which is a 5/3, and then there's the other one that's a equal to your lands XX, and then it's just straight up Tribal Flames. But yeah, Crashing Rhinos, Living End, and then 3rd through 4th is 4-color control plus the Yawgmoth deck, which is they call Core Toolbox, but it's just black green Yawgmoth, and then 2 tribal, 2 Zoo decks, another Cascade Footfalls deck, and then the last one is Rakdos Aggro, which is just Rakdos Scam. And that guy played himself on camera pretty good because he tried to. There was a scenario where he stole the opponent's Fury, and then went to Undying Evil it, not realizing it goes to the owner's control. Like he was able to, and then he got blown out because he was just like, oh, and it was in a top 8 match and completely flipped the match where it's like you super like 4-for-1 yourself. You gave him a Fury, you spent a card in your hand, and they wrathed your board. Like,
Ooh.
Yeah, it was like
That's pretty bad.
Yeah, it's as bad as it gets, really. So, all right.
Sorry, bud. Try again next time.
And then Pioneer had 2 different blue whites in the top 8. And then Sean
And
Gallagher.
Orion.
You know who's really pumped about this, right?
Go on.
Antonio.
Good luck. It was both the guys that top 8 with blue white. They're like, this was just a meta decision because everybody was on like the creativity decks, and we get to play 4 Dovins or 3 to 4 Dovins vetoes. So
Yeah.
like nice decks.
Instantly shut them down.
Yeah, like so they just gamed another guy that was on the podcast, Sean Gallagher, Mr. Toolshed. He rocked this sweet list, which is not this is not the Yorion variant, but that's what it looks like. It's got 4.
Ooh, I can actually play this one. That
Yeah,
means.
yeah, exactly. 4 Memory Deluge is super aggressive, but I mean 3 main deck Dovins vetoes, 4 absorb, 4 make disappear. The biggest card that's awesome in this deck is Temporary Lockdown. It stops all the red-black nonsense because they just don't have any good ways to deal with enchantments right now. So you get their Blood Tithe Harvesters, you get their the tokens that come out of the Kiki-Jiki, and then you also get the Reckon Bake Busters if they still are rocking that list. So and then the rest of you need to not have cards that draw cards. So Memory Deluge gets around. Shieldred. So
Yep.
sweet looking list, love it. 4 Wandering Emperors, just so many people got blown
Wild.
up. Yeah, and then double Shark Typhoon for your win conditions, and then every now and then you get to go old school and beat him with a Teferi, and then make the guy across and you just agonizingly like, I'll make you play it out. It's like, okay,
I think I can beat it.
yeah, okay, let's play it out. Let's see what happens.
I can beat it, Teferi.
Yeah, so this is probably not a good deck. I'm not going to get baited into playing this. As much as I want to play blue-white, I know it's not good. I can't do it.
I know it's not good. He
I
says.
just can't do it. Dude.
Wins first and second place. I know it's not good.
Both guys were like, do not play
I
this deck. It's so funny. They're like, don't play this. This sucks. But that's the energy. All right, dude.
This sucks.
So
Dude, they're just gaming us. Come on. You're falling for it.
yeah. So we got the tier list from the Epic Storms quarterly tier list in Legacy. Some people.
Where's Lance? Tell me.
I don't know. Oh, it's a D tier, so you're still on the list.
Oh, yeah.
You're still on the list. But
Let's get in there.
Miracles didn't make the list, so people were like,
Tendrils?
yeah, that's
D?
yeah. All right.
Ow.
I don't know, man. They made the list.
Is the Lurin not on here? I don't.
Probably not. Lurin's like a really,
Bad.
it's a bad deck. I like playing it because people are bad versus people are bad against.
They don't know how the timing works.
Yep.
They just don't understand
But
when to make an
once
action.
they've played against the deck once and learned like their pattern, you're like, ah, crap, this is actually really hard to win because I have to try to outbrain them.
Big braining over here.
So, yeah. So the A tier decks, there is no S tier decks, which is okay.
Jeskai control.
Jeskai, yeah. So you got Jeskai Control, Reanimator, Cephalid Breakfast, and A-Cast. Yeah, those are your big dogs. A-Cast is just like on a complete tear right now. That
Dude, I love it. It makes me laugh so much.
that
It
deck is
took
hard to
over.
deal
It took over Delver's spot.
Yeah.
It's so funny.
It's a fast mana deck. So like
And you get to play a bunch of goons, a bunch of good flyers that are big.
weird how the initiative deck, which was abusing Ancient Tomb, and then all the Ancient Tomb players went to go find the next Ancient Tomb deck. Ancient Tomb is just so sick. Like, and they've printed a lot of different cards, and it's actually, let me take that back. It's Urza's Saga, the Inevitability, and the Silver Bullets are just like so hard for
Yeah,
decks
that's
to deal with.
lands.
Yeah.
Urza Saga is the best. It's so good.
But then you gotta play crappy cards like Crop Rotation, where they get to play a turtle.
Then you get to play cards like Tabernacle. Don't
Yeah.
forget, Tabernacle's really good.
All right, on to the B tier. B tier is Death and Taxes, Doomsday Elves,
I'm
Blues,
just gonna shove lands in
Blue
every time.
Zenith, Initiative, Painter, Blue Red Delver, and Sneak and Show. So these are the other decks that you see like pretty commonly in like the meta. Doomsday is
Blue
the
Zenith. Oh, the 5-color Zenith.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
So I mean, Doomsday is your Storm deck. Like if you're playing Storm, why are you not playing Doomsday?
Because it's worse.
You mean Storm is worse or Doomsday is worse?
Doomsday's worse.
No.
It's so simple. You don't have to think.
Nah, you gotta think for like 3 minutes and then you're done.
Okay. Versus
Just
like
go cast Doomsday or clear the way, cast Doomsday,
yeah.
and then go. I mean, Storm is the same way though. Tess is like the same thing.
No, you're living at the mercy of the top of your deck.
Clear the way, go.
Yeah. Well, you're at the mercy of the top deck, right?
Not really. With Wishclaw Talisman being a card, it's like unreal
Fair.
how easy it is to just go get whatever you need.
Have you seen this Hammer Time deck in Legacy?
No.
Okay, so I got to look that up. So I don't know what that is, but the Epic Gamble, the Epic Storm, Oops All Spell, Moon Stompy, Maverick, Hammer Time, Green White Depth, and Death Shadow.
All right. I might be thinking of Epic Storm. Not. I don't know what the difference between Tendrils and Epic Storm is, because like both of them do the same thing. I just don't understand.
One is on the back of like Ad Nauseam and Peer Through Depths, and the other one is like the traditional like
Peer Through Depths. Okay.
Yeah. What's that 7-mana spell that they have where you draw half your deck?
Yeah, Peer.
Yeah.
Well, the only reason I ask is because like they're essentially this. What is Ad Nauseam Tendrils versus Epic Storm? Because Epic Storm is doing the same things with just like 2 more options, right?
Yeah.
And like when you say Ad Nauseam Tendrils, that's all you got, and maybe. See, that's what I mean. They're like the same deck.
It might be just color variations. That's probably.
I was about to say it's like black
I think Ad
versus
Nauseam
white.
Tendrils is just blue-black, and isn't Epic Storm like Grixis? Like they run Empty
No,
the
some of
Worms
the
in the
lists play
board and
white.
stuff.
Some of them play white now, because they play Silence.
I used to know the difference between these two decks.
Well,
but
we're gonna look it up now because we have the
'cause I
internet.
wanna know.
I thought one played Ad Nauseam.
Both do.
They do. They both do. So I'm just gonna click on these deck lists and see if they pull up. So this is Ad Nauseam Tendrils. Okay.
Okay, so we got the ooze, we got brainstorms,
Thoughtseize.
all the regular stuff.
Yeah. And then it's almost
In the
same
board, what has it got? It's got.
Peer Through Depths, Leyline. So you have the wish is just
So you don't have the sideboard goblins.
Yep.
Empty the
Okay.
Worms.
And you have no way to go get and access. Do you have any way to access your sideboard? I don't see anything.
There has to be.
No, I'm not seeing any of them.
Huh.
So
Why would they keep one pier in the board then?
What does
Maybe-
Rain of Filth do?
Rain of Filth is like sacrifice a swamp and draw or get a red. Yeah, each land you control gets you can add mana. Just
Yeah, so that way you can get around like days
Okay.
or whatever.
So that
'cause
was
you just
that,
have an
and then
extra
we're gonna look
mana.
at the Epic Gamble because I'm actually curious on what this is. The Epic Gamble. So this is the red variant blue. So you play Echoes, Galvanic Relay, and then you get to go off like with Bergie, and then you win by wheeling your opponent. So again, the gamble because you're wheeling. I love it. It's just like, look at this man, like just 9 cards.
Just 9 lands.
No, yeah, no, sorry, nine lands. My bad. So that's Epic Gamble. So this is more of a you get to kind of wheel your deck because of this card with wheels is pretty
Jesus,
degenerate.
$2,200 for 3 volcanics.
Yeah, what's up? And then the Epic Storm. Let's pull up this. This one. So the biggest difference is this is like your classic. Wishclaw Mox. So I think the biggest difference is are you rocking Opal to make mana for like Ad Nauseam? So Ad Nauseam is not using like fast mana aside from just your classic petals and LEDs, and this is using LEDs, petals, and then adding baubles. Yep. Okay. So that's really just the difference.
And it has Empty the Warrens in the board.
Yeah. So,
Gotcha. Well, whatever one this is the better one.
Yeah.
The Opal Chrome Mox
obviously.
is way better.
All right. Is there any other? I gotta see this Hammer Time deck. I've never seen this, so I might be building this. Is this just Hammer Time? But okay, you have to play 2 Mana Tithe. Oh yeah, we're building this deck.
Oh my god, get this out of
Oh
here.
yeah.
What is this garbage?
You get to play cards like this is just the modern deck, but you get to play 4 Ancient Den and 4 Mox Opal, which is probably just absolutely huge for this deck.
Yeah.
Oh man.
Opal is so good.
Oh yeah.
Imagine if Opal were still legal in modern.
No.
Yeah. So
No.
I do enjoy playing cards like Mana Tithe. I might put this deck together. It's jank, but it's like I already have it built, so all I gotta do is just add 4 opals and we call it a day. And I guess I gotta go find 4 Ancient Dens, but
That's not a big issue.
That's a list card. I hate opening that shit.
yeah, that stuff sucks.
I-
I can go out about the list. The list blows. Nobody likes the list, just so everybody knows. But yeah, that's it.
What if I like the list?
You don't. Black Saga Storm. It's just like all these really bad Storm decks. I can't believe like Dredge is on here. That's been so
Yeah,
bad.
that thing's been dead forever.
I
Ever
can't
since-
believe Lands
I've
is
not
on this
seen
list.
someone.
Bro.
I've seen people playing lands. I have not seen people playing dredge.
The only people I see playing lands are you.
Nah,
No,
dude.
there's like
There's a huge community. People love.
I know.
People love it. Since the printing of endurance, like dredge and Hogax are just gone. They don't exist. Not a thing. So
dead.
yeah, but
Yeah, endurance wrecked that deck forever.
yeah. So
I love endurance so much.
yeah. What do you think about endurance, Josh?
I'm looking for girls for pussy.
I do not. Hang on. That's exactly what I'm doing. I'm not on my phone though. But I do not like endurance. I had a bad beat against Juan with endurance, and that
Yeah,
made me
because you
mad.
play Delver. Of course you hate endurance. That card is so good against Delver.
It's good against the meta. Like it's just a strong card. It's actually weak against the top. Well, it's probably good against the Cephalid Breakfast too. Or no, it's not.
It's good against Reanimator.
Reanimator. That's about it. So it's not good against 8-cast Cephalid Breakfast or Jeskai. I guess they get a little bit against Jeskai because they do rely heavily on like Mystic Sanctuary. So it's just got game everywhere. That card's sick. All right.
They don't heavily rely on it.
Ooh, paper
Oh
players.
man, here we go.
All
All
right.
right, Josh, pay attention.
You don't have to.
Is this the meme cards?
Yeah.
The emoji cards was the best one.
First, you don't.
Dude, that one is
Whatever.
so good.
Dude, those things are
That's
wild.
the only one you posted that I really like.
Yeah. All right. So, this is actually a listener submitted. He threw another. So we're gonna rate it. So,
This is?
oh yeah. Hold on. Let me get the tune. Here's our custom cards tune.
All right, let me get real close and squint.
Why do you have to squint? Use both eyes, dude. All right. So we have Fog of Battle, which is a Boros enchantment for red, white 3. It is if a source you don't control would deal damage to a battle you protect, that source instead deal half damage rounded up. And then if a source you control would deal damage to a battle, that source deals double that damage instead. This card's too fair, dude.
All right, no,
As I said, this
first
is
thing,
perfectly fine.
This card would be fine at green or at
first
red
thing
white.
I'm gonna say, you screwed up. There's no flavor text.
Yeah, and you spelt everything right. Come on, dude. Don't you know how this works? We need
I need flavor text, bud.
Yes.
This card would have to cost at least 3.
And the Writers Guild's not
Even
happy
at
with
that,
it.
I don't think it's
The
good.
Writers Guild is not like this is AI generated. They're pissed right now. They are mad as hell. I'm gonna give this like a 2 out of 10.
I mean, in terms of power, sure.
Just
Overall creativity, I think it's fine.
Fine.
It's solid.
yeah,
It's fine.
you just gotta take the word battle out of it. That'd be perfect.
I was gonna say,
Yeah.
doesn't it already exist? Isn't there like a 2 red and 1 deal double damage?
Yeah,
It's not an enchantment though.
Yeah, it is.
Dictate of Perforos does this exact same thing, only it's 5 mana
yeah,
and it's got flash.
yeah. Do. All right, next one. I don't know if I have anything great. Cunning Electromancer. All right, red blue for a 2/2. Whenever you cast a instant or sorcery, scry 2, then reveal the top card of your library. If it's an instant or sorcery card, Cunning Electromancer deals 2 damage to any target.
This card is busted.
Nah, it's pretty bad.
What?
Yeah, it's just a worse gutter snipe.
What?
Gutter snipe triggers every time.
Yeah.
Gride 2 is insane.
Sure.
Yeah. You just get to set your top deck every time.
I guess
You could just keep with the right cards. You can just go infinite.
So are
Yeah,
we talking
We
best?
could see this. I think you could see this card eventually.
Is this like a best case scenario kind of deal?
No, what I'm
No,
saying is
because
if you
you're
play,
literally. Oh my god.
play a deck full of like one drop like cantrips.
Yeah.
Replace Phoenix in the Phoenix
Nova.
deck.
So this doesn't.
And this card.
It doesn't create card advantage, right?
No, but you play like 1 mana draw spells, and you get to scry 2 set up, so you can just keep going, and you're dealing 2 damage to any target.
Yeah. Okay. But in the case that you have 2 lands you whiff.
Sure, worst case scenario.
Okay.
When nothing goes
Best
your way,
case
you have no
scenario.
cards in your hand. You have nothing.
No one plays Manamorphose. No one plays.
Yeah, this
I
card
just-
with Manamorphose is nuts.
Would you want this in like standard? Maybe it would be fine in standard.
I think it'd be fine in
I think you could
standard,
see
but
it. I think you could see this card. I think this card could be printed one day.
Yeah.
sure, one day. I still think it's
just think it's a weak card. I mean, this is like your counterbalance stream, right? You're like, oh, I get to play counterbalance again, and like, oh, gut shot you. Top card is this, and I countered, and you take 2. Yeah, counterbalance players one day.
I feel like you underestimate this card.
I do, because I think it's bad.
Like, every 1 mana cantrip turns into what was the one that got banned? That was Scry 2 draw.
Preordain.
Yes.
This card doesn't even trigger off of Mishra's Bauble. This card is.
You don't play Mish. That's a completely different deck.
This card is stank. Your DRC decks ain't never playing this card. Yeah, sorry. This card gets.
Yeah, I don't think I would. I would rather play Young Pyromancer.
Well, yeah.
Mm.
They're medium.
No.
Yeah. You know what? I'll just play
DRC into this.
Or
is
Sprite
insane.
Dragon.
I mean, DRC. Why would you play? DRC requires that you play Mishra's Bauble, which this doesn't trigger.
Does not technically require you to.
Bro.
Yeah, you have
Find me a
to.
DRC deck that's not playing Bauble.
All right, it's gonna be from Historic.
Is that a real format? Do people actually play that?
Yes.
Your fake ass cards, your fake ass format. You know the thing they're trying to revive, just like Alchemy. Hey, Alchemy's only a 2-year rotation. Oh, okay. All right. A Dreamweaver's Spellbook.
10 mana.
It's a 10 mana artifact. It's not even legendary, so lame. Yeah.
And you lose the
This
game.
is.
Yeah. So Dreamweaver Spellbook
This is.
can only be
Go
cast
ahead.
by using basic
Exile it, and you lose the game. What?
all spells.
That's
in your hand.
probably for EDA. I know.
No, because you still have all your permanents
Yeah.
taken away when you lose.
Yeah, you're still kicked out of the game.
I love this card.
Maybe if you like.
So colorless.
that would stop the exile it too.
You can only cast this by using basic land. Okay, you can't.
Waste. You can only
This
cast
is-
it with waste. So let's make it even better.
No, you can use any basic. Like you can
What if
use
it was
island.
just 10 waste symbols at the top?
So what if you like misclick and you accidentally like I use 9 basics and you're Scryland? You're like, I lose the game now because I didn't cast it using.
You
10
wouldn't be able to
basics.
cast. You wouldn't be able to cast it. It can only be cast that way.
Oh, okay. So if you cheat this into play, you exile it, and okay.
Yeah.
And then this
This
is
is just a really bad omniscience.
Oh, really?
A really bad omniscience.
Oh, you mean
like,
one that's
holy
completely
God.
unplayable? Okay.
Man, I love this card. It's so bad.
Couldn't you just stifle the other ability?
You do whatever you want. Doesn't matter. It's just play omniscience, dude. What are you doing?
No. I want a colorless one. So that way
With
they
just
can't
10
beat it up
colorless
with
symbols.
Yeah.
so they can't beat it up with Reb.
Oh, I like
Reb
it.
has blown me out a million times. I
Yeah.
need a different way to do it.
Yeah, it's just the old classic.
Forget all the artifact hate out there. I just
Yeah. No big
Red
deal.
Elemental Blast is the one that makes me the maddest.
Mm-hmm.
So
Yeah. Oh man, but yeah.
Guess what? Red Elemental Blast still heads it if they play Painter Servant.
So I followed this, and I wish I would have put.
In
grabbed-
EDH?
No.
Yes.
Yeah, I wish I would have grabbed more. I wish I would have grabbed more of this card because this guy did like 3 different iterations. The first one was completely bonkers, and everybody's like, "What are you doing?" The second one was like way too like it was like 15 or 16 mana, and people were like, "Well, like whatever, blah blah blah." And then he's like, "All right, I'll fix it," and this is what he came up with, which is just like an unplayable piece of garbage.
JB,
I like
Painter, Painter Servant isn't banned in EDH.
I thought it was.
They used to
No.
be, and then they were like, "We
Yeah,
gotta ban
banned it.
Iona instead." They're like, Iona's got to go because
I
Painter's coming in.
understand. Now I understand.
Because everybody's like, man, this guy had a 2-card combo that won the game.
That costs like 12 mana.
Bro, you ever
You don't understand. You're gonna
idiots?
tell me
Not
I
if you can't cast
play
it.
the color cards I want to play? Come on.
Have you heard of Buseju? Duh. It doesn't even you don't cast it, you channel it. So yeah,
Oh man. Yeah, I mean that 10 mana thing that we just looked at also dies to rule.
it sucks. Well,
The
if it dies,
Buseju.
it dies to the worst kind of rule because you'll lose.
Oh,
All right.
man. I just
So-
like the you lose clause. It's not like just exile it and like you continue.
It's like
It's like oops, I made a mistake.
you cheated. Get out of here. Can't believe you would tinker this into play, you piece of crap.
Man.
All right. Banned, but why? Okay. Is it time to unban these in modern?
Mox Opal doesn't exist. Yes, unban.
Right. Okay.
That's it.
I like
That's
it.
my only statement.
Okay.
If Opals are still around, never. They're just too good with Opal.
Why do you think they're too good with Opal?
You want to look at Legacy and tell me why?
I mean, sure. Like, but okay. So I guess what would be paired up with it? Would it just be Classic Affinity for modern?
I think it would just be Ancient Den in the hammer decks, and then you'd have Opal, and you could go.
And maybe see.
You could turn it on way easier, and you don't have to have one of your equipment out there in order to get shot.
Okay.
I just think it would be better to play Ancient Den
Someone
in
in the
hammer.
chat. Profit places. Leave these banned and give me back my Opal. Nah.
I mean, I agree.
Opal can't.
I agree.
Come back. It can't come back.
I need it back.
So
I want it back too.
even if Opal was unbanned, I think these cards are fair. Like, I just don't think they're good anymore.
They died of removal.
But
Yeah, dude.
everybody's got main deck removal now, like left and
Remember that green-red deck that you had that destroys artifacts? Like,
right. Oh, four
Guess
main
what?
deck.
You don't even need to turn their lands into artifacts.
Yeah, 4 main deck Ancient Roads. What's up? Nice deck. Well, you also have like March of Outworldly Light, which is like a complete blowout against this, right?
One white. Yep.
Yeah, it exiles artifact. It states artifact enchantment.
yeah, because it doesn't say land. Yeah,
Yeah.
it doesn't say
I mean,
non-land.
and Prismatic can't get it, but who cares? Like, and like, yes, you have Boseiju, and then also Teferi can bounce the lands back to your hand. Like, there's a bunch of stuff.
If Opal lived, I would say no. But yeah, bring him back.
I think these are fine to bring back. Like, I'm trying to think of like what deck would be completely busted with it.
Yeah, I don't think there's really a like huge benefit.
And,
I mean, I guess Affinity doesn't even get that much
Whatever,
better.
It's not good.
well,
The
it's
deck
'cause
sucks. You
random-
never see it played anywhere.
decks randomly have Karn the Great Creator, which goes, oh, you're playing all artifact lands? Nice deck.
Yes, you
That
lost.
that card's got a limited timeline.
Yeah, you're right about that. As we progress to the timeline of Magic, and they keep the more degenerate stuff they make,
I guess.
Yeah.
And you get a one-sided null rod too. Oh baby.
Oh yeah, that's why it's, and then you can just
All
you can just
bonuses.
you can just plus and snipe the lands too. I mean, they're already not activated, but you can just go, that's a 0 CMC artifact, shoot you. So, I mean, and Karn the Great Creator can be played by literally every single deck, so it's just colorless. So, you know, I don't.
What a good card.
Yeah, those were the Spark Planeswalkers with those static abilities. They really did not. They needed to make them.
Their brain was not working.
Well, they made them all one-sided effects. If they just if you take all the War of the Spark Planeswalkers and just make it so like both players have to play under the same like subset of rules, they're not good, right? Like Teferi, it means like the game is played at Hearthstone speed. Narset means we both can't be degenerately drawing. Like we both have to be limited to this, and then Karn, obviously, like you don't want to null ride your own stuff, but they'd have to probably do a complete redesign on that card anyways. But again, they just changed those to be dual effects, and things change where they've really gone away from effects that negatively impact the user or the owner of the card. They've gone completely away from that design.
Mm-hmm.
People just didn't like casting their cards. I'm like, oh, I didn't see that. My guy died. Like, they don't really make cards that, like, say... Well, let me take that back. They did make a card that sucks. In the new Geth, that card gives your creatures -1/-1, and the benefit is so trash.
Oh yeah, the card's awful.
I can't believe they printed that card. That might be, like, one of the worst rares they've printed, like, the last 10 years.
How did Gath go from being what he was originally to that?
Dude, it sucks. The card blows. Yeah. I think we can unban these, and I'm for it. Like, let's see what Affinity tries to do. But
Yeah, why not? Worst case scenario, ban them again.
Well, or ban Thought Monitor. Like, that's the one that people are worried about. Like, you can have your Thought Cast, you just can't have the, you know.
Draw 1,000 cards.
Is there any
through all
is there
that.
anything that's like draw equal to artifacts you control?
No.
Yes.
Yeah.
I think. Why can't I think of the name? I feel like there is.
Is there?
It's probably a lot of mana. It's got to be a ton of mana.
They should unban this and Death Right.
Yeah, I know.
Just get it done.
Yeah.
Let's see what
You're
happens. Yeah.
Give me death
Play-
right.
Play this with Death Right.
All right, guys.
No.
I think that's all we got for the show today.
Oh my god.
JB likes ranking all his cast members.
Number 1, baby.
Yeah, Jeff's always love Jeff's.
Jeff, stick together, bud.
Yeah.
Jeff stick together. That's gonna be a.
Our chant.
I'll take 3 above Tony. Can we go over how Antonio said in our chat that Fable isn't gonna get banned because
No, he didn't
it's
say
not
it isn't
that
going to
good?
ban. He thinks it shouldn't get banned, which is
He doesn't
way worse.
I mean, come on, dude. Like,
There's no
what
way.
reality is he living in?
Not this one.
He just
That's
he
why.
likes his mono white control deck that just keeps getting bodied by Invoke Despair. So he's too close. Okay, he's too close. His mind is clouded. All right. If we have any live callers, I'll see you in the queue, and we do. But before we head out, we got 2 other things. Jeff, hit me with some jokes.
All right, hold on. I wrote them down. I was
Nice.
prepared. How do you make a small fortune playing Magic? Start with a large one.
Okay. I'm good with that.
I hated that one.
Oh, I
like
know you
it.
did. Goes against everything you believe in.
Never sell.
Well, you're not selling. You're just buying more. Now you have nothing.
Only consume. We know.
Now you have trash.
All right, here's one that's kind of like describing a card. Lily on the Veil is just like a wife. First you lose your mind for +1, then you lose your friends for -2, and then finally you lose half your stuff for -6.
Don't get married.
That's all, that's all the jokes for today.
Whatever you do, don't get married. Everyone knows that. Okay.
Oh man.
You want your magic? Well, if you
Hey, those are good deep ones.
well, don't get
thank
married
you,
to somebody
thank
that
you.
like. How about this? Don't get married to somebody that knows what magic is, because if they try to take all
Oh,
my
then
stuff,
agreed. Yes.
yeah. You think a lawyer's gonna go through all my stuff? No. They're gonna be like, hey, those are his toys. Just let him have them. Like, please. Yeah. If you're planning on getting a divorce, just put all your money into magic. That way you can hide it from the government.
I feel like your wife understands how much your collection is worth.
I've told her lies.
It's only worth $200.
Lies.
She's like, how much is your collection worth? Probably this, and it's just some false number. Just nowhere near ever true. Gotta keep it down. She's upstairs, guys. Everybody shut up. Guys, don't blow my cover.
It makes me think of that Key and Peele skit when he's like trying to hide from calling his wife the B word.
Bitch. I said,
Yeah.
bitch. All right. Josh, hit us up. What do you got for a hot take?
Dogs are better than cats. That's it.
Oh, yes.
That's it.
And I want to.
Whatever. I got
Thank.
attacked by a cat yesterday.
That's what you
Did you?
get.
Yeah, that you were messing with. It's your own fault.
That's what you
I
get.
didn't. No, I didn't. Hang on, I've got proof.
Oh, you gonna show us
got
this?
really
He edited the video of just the cat attacking.
Pussy.
No, the cat's like on my stuff. It like immediately.
Pussy. I'm looking for girls
Yeah.
for pussy.
Exactly. This pussy.
Yeah, that's what you get. We saw it. The cat strikes again. Would you say that was the cat's meow?
Oh my god.
Bro, you got your phone in the cat's face. What do you expect?
This is a real dad moment.
Yeah.
All right.
Shut up.
Dude, check out this video.
Parenthood's overrated.
Yeah. All right. Thank you, Saffron Olive, for the shout
Paper
out.
players doesn't exist at this point.
That's my new hot take: is paper players better than MTG Goldfish?
We know that. That's why they called us out. It's a called shot. Now we're coming for blood, Saffron.
Paper players doesn't exist at this point.
Shouldn't have done that. You've crossed the line,
Rude.
buddy.
Rude.
Yeah, rude dudes, and you know. All right, let's see. I'm just gonna listen to a bunch of different podcasts about see how many things I can get to say paper player that are just insulting. Just it's never one clear sentence. I always got to chop it into two. I'm like, let's have them say something negative and then just the word paper player.
Of course, it's not in one sentence.
Yeah, I work hard on it. All right, dude.
We're not big boys yet.
You gotta go even farther and wait till they say the word podcast and then add it on there.
Well, yeah, for sure.
Paper player podcast.
Podcast doesn't even exist.
Yeah. We're not real. We've never been real. Never will be real. All right, Lord Prophet's in the queue. I think I believe Lord Prophet, or Prophet plays if you will. He's from Texas, if I'm not mistaken.
Oh man, you remember the one guy from Texas that used to message us?
Yeah, I wish. I wonder how he's doing.
That was the greatest first episode of a podcast I've ever listened to.
Yeah, bro, we love wrestling.
Oh man.
I'm not gonna lie, I'm getting back into wrestling. Not trying
Oh
to.
no.
Oh, why?
Oh no.
Like WWE.
Yeah, anime is not really cutting it for me with big guys fighting, so I need like real big guys fighting.
Watch UFC.
But that's real. That's like real punches. I need like
Yeah,
epic
that's way
nonsense.
better.
Bro, hold on.
You mean like 40
stories.
minutes of dialogue and like 2 minutes of
Hold
wrestling?
on. Before I grab Lord Prophet, I gotta show you this. Hold on.
Oh my god.
Do you really have to? Do you really have to?
My computer crashed. I can't see it.
No,
Oops.
no. You ever seen like these memes right here? I'm not gonna
Log into TikTok. Yes.
If wrestling's fake, how do you explain this?
Is snake charming in the arm, bro.
You telling me this isn't real?
Dude, I saw this. This is funny.
Dude, there's so many of them.
How do people find this entertaining?
Dude, you just buy
Really
in.
dumb.
You
It's
just
just dumb.
you just
I
gotta
think
you just gotta buy in. If you go in like the expectation, like those who follow the storyline are wild.
I have a friend who's like really into wrestling. Like he goes to WrestleMania whenever it's here.
Okay, what about this? Okay,
The storylines are really dumb.
what
I
about
don't
this
like
one? Okay, it's a blind ref. He's just calling it as he sees it.
Oh my god.
it. The crowd booing.
Boo! He's not a real ref.
Damn, he fell.
Oh, he jumped into the crowd because he's wild. You just gotta look
Because
at
he's
like
blind.
yeah. It's always dude. There's some other ones that are so so.
I like how he was like spinning on the mat.
If wrestling's fake, then explain this, guys. Okay.
Wait, is this the new Jurassic World? I haven't seen this yet.
Here we go. This is see if is wrestling fake now?
Hell no, it's not.
How do you not like this stuff? It's just jank.
Yes, but this isn't the kind of wrestling you're watching. You're watching WWE.
No, I don't like tune in. I just try to find.
Okay.
I just try to find like clips.
Ridiculous shit like that.
Dude, they got some bang.
Oh, I've seen.
There's
But I'm gonna hop off here.
Bye-bye.
The girlfriend wants to go to Taco Bell.
Nice.
I'll let you hang out with the caller.
okay. Lord Prophet, I'm zooming in.
Bye bye.
I think he's in there now. Ooh. Oi, oi, oi.
He is in here.
Yeah, I can hear him.
See you, Lord Prophet.
Bye-bye. So I think if you're using a laptop or
I
phone...
don't have sound for some reason.
Here. Let me try something real quick.
Oh, there it is.
There you go, buddy. How you doing?
Good, how are you?
Good, man. You still on? You're still trying to rock Lantern nowadays?
Yeah, I've been playing it for a while. I actually just finished a new deck a couple weeks ago.
Sure.
I played it last week. And I think the Lantern gods got kind of mad at me for abandoning Lantern.
Did you? So you're telling me you went 0-3 drop?
I went 1-1-1.
Oof. That's a rough
I
record.
was on Scam.
Oh, Rectus. Okay. How'd you like that deck?
Dude, I've been playing it for a few months on like Untap and stuff, and
Sure.
I love the deck. My first round, I went against the dude who was on this Vampires deck. It was kind of crazy with Sorin to play the Galta and Mavrin for free.
Oh, sure. Yeah, it just turned. It's basically I call it Sorin Intel, but show and tell, but with Sorin.
Yeah, I mean, we made it to game 2. I took game 1 pretty quickly. Game 2, the dude played really slow.
Yeah.
And so I think we went to time right when I finally scooped it up and was going to try to go to game 3 and just pull it out, but and then I got destroyed by Hammer Time.
Yeah, so that deck, especially with Rakdos Scam, it's weird because you want to be aggressive by going like turn one Grief into like the combo or like a turn one Ragavan play, but really you need to be holding cards like Fatal Push, and they got I don't know if the list you were playing against has that new upgrade from Mom, the one that's like all their things have hexproof and then prevent any damage from red or black sources. It's a white mana instant.
I don't think so.
Okay.
Oh, maybe I think he was. I think he was playing as like a 1 or 2 of.
Yeah, they used to play blacksmith skills, and now I think they're on that one because it protects all their permanents versus just a singular target. You know.
Yeah, there's not a whole lot. I mean, I'm the only scam player in our meta.
All right.
But so, I think he might still be on blacksmith skill.
Sure. Not everybody's like
then-
upgraded to that new one just yet.
Yeah, and then the last round what did I play against the last round? Oh, Boggles.
Oh, that's a flash in the past.
Well, he was playing like a really weird version of Boggles. Just a bunch of stuff that you don't normally see. It wasn't a like strict Boggles list. I think that would have been a lot harder for me to beat.
Yeah.
But it came down to in game 2, you know, I was constantly like 1 mana short of being able to do multiple things in a turn, and he eventually just said screw it and let my Ragavan through. He just decided, oh, that's fine, I'll let Ragavan through. And then it gave me the mana I needed to just hard cast a Fury. And so he wasn't going to be able to stop me the next turn.
Yeah. Dude. Yeah. How about Boggles? If we go back like 7 years ago, or maybe less than that, maybe 5, before Modern Horizons 2, like those things were still kind of loaming, you know? And a lot of those like old decks are just completely gone. Like you don't really see that stuff anymore. Like it pops up here and
honestly,
there.
with my custom card that y'all talked about, that's really what I was trying to do was, because I had posted it in one of the Magic the Gathering groups on Facebook.
Yeah.
Everybody was like, it costs too much, it costs too much.
Yeah, it's too high.
I was like, well, in today's Magic, yes.
Yeah.
But like my favorite Magic was back when like Siege Rhino was the best card in the game.
Yeah, when your winning conditions were separated from your draw engines or whatever. Not everything was done all in one package.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Those were my favorite days of Magic, when you could just play a Siege Rhino and deal with that. But
yeah,
so I prefer the fair Magic cards.
Well, I think a lot of people that want to play standard like in the long term like are interested in that. To be honest, like standard, I want to play with like a powered down version of standard that exists right now, just so games have an ability to breathe. Where like the last 4 years of standard, every card is just like haymaker after haymaker. So you can never like just say like, yeah, that resolves, and it's like, I want to be a blue mage and use counter spells, but just blue sucks. Like being reactive versus being proactive is like so negative in like today's age of Magic.
It really is. I've barely touched standard, to be honest. I mean, I have it on Arena. I actually built the blue-green like pseudo Boggles list that Saffron Olive did like a year ago.
Sure.
And so when I get the daily quest of cast X blue and green spells, then sure I'll go play that deck for a while.
Yeah.
And it's fun, but if I'm playing Arena, I'm mostly doing historic right now.
So I gotta ask you a question about historic. Do you like the is historic, or is it Gladiator? I forget which one it is. Historic's the one that has like the Arena exclusive cards, right?
Yeah, historic has alchemy cards in it, and I hate it.
Most people do.
I've been talking crap about alchemy for so long.
Yeah. And
I actually started being interested in actually building a Rakdos list for historic.
Sure.
But they're all using Arena card or alchemy cards, and like, can I find a list without these? Because I've talked crap about alchemy for so long.
Sure.
I really don't want to start playing these cards.
Yeah.
But right now I just need to find a better deck, because I have a tendency to play bad decks that I think are fun.
That's what most people do, right?
I'm not really winning that much anymore.
And it's what you're in the game for. Like, it's like, I think you want to do a duality of like both winning and like using creative. but it's tough in this day and age, especially because the information age is just like standard is solved in 2 days, right? And the same is probably, I don't know, maybe historic's where you can kind of get away with that stuff, but I don't really follow any historic or any alchemy meta, so I don't know how fast those formats get solved either. Like, I'm not sure. And they can always just like balance things out too, so you can get some serious shakeups, but I'm so not interested in that format just because cards work differently on there than they do in paper. Like cards that have paper printings, and I despise that. It makes it very, I guess my concentration level for that has to be so much more in depth, whereas I can't just play it in the background while I'm doing something else, you know?
Yeah, I mean, I pretty much play Arena for maybe an hour a day during my lunch break at work, and yeah.
Sure.
I'm mostly playing decks that what I call make me the most hated man on Arena.
Sure.
And my three main decks right now for historic, I'm playing an Enchantress Prison deck that Saffron Olive did a while back.
Mm-hmm.
So I lock the board down with 9 Life Solemnity, and then I lock creatures down with Overwhelming Splendor and Night of Soul's Betrayal.
Yep.
I've been playing, I actually just finished a couple weeks ago his mono white stacks list. I've been playing the crap out of that, and that one's so much fun once it gets going.
Yeah.
And then I've been playing Red Green Ponza a lot.
That deck, it still has like old remnants of what old cards are still, because you're still kind of alone. You still have like Fury and or whatever is in there, if that's, or you still have access to cards like Blood Moon and or Stone Rain effects, right?
On Arena, you don't have Blood Moon, unfortunately. You do get Stone Rain, so the amount of concessions I've gotten when I do a turn 2 Stone Rain on the play is ridiculous.
Yeah,
people don't like it.
No, they don't, and I don't. A lot of the time, like, so I play like mono blue on there just because I like having fun with the new card C double. I'm like I said on the cast, I'm in love with that card. That card's so much fun to me. A lot of people just will. I always play best 2 out of 3 because I think my advantage comes in sideboarding. Where I think the art of sideboarding has really lost on a lot of newer players just because they want to be like quick. They want to play the same game over and over. So I usually get a concession in game 1 when I've just gotten lucky and was like Essence Scatter, negate, another counter spell, and then just drop like a Jhin with like Shore Up to give it like protection. And then it's rare that I go into games 2 and 3 because people are like, I don't want to play against this. They hate the feeling of like getting their stuff countered.
Yeah, I run into that a lot. I run into a lot of mono counters decks.
Yeah.
And with my Ponza deck, just for sake of getting it finished and being able to play it, I did put a sideboard together. So if I run into mono counters, I'll just scoop it up and move on to the next one.
Yeah.
Because like what's the Shifting Ceratops or whatever, the green
dinosaur
2 it can't be countered.
Yeah, and I think it's pro blue as well.
Yeah, I mean that's supposed to be in my sideboard, but I have a habit of starting 4 decks and then never having the wild cards to build them. So
yeah.
What am I working on? I'm working on Urabrask and Taxes right now for Explorer.
Urabrask. Is that the 5-mana Capenna 1 plus Strength Magistrate?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's pretty sick. Just lock people out. Like, it's like, here's my 2-card lockout. Hopefully you have some kind of, if they don't have the answer in hand, that's it, right?
Yeah, it pretty much is, unless they have cards that let them draw extra cards.
Oh, sure.
Because Urabrask Exile is the first card they draw each turn.
Yeah, so they'd have to already have it existing in their hand, right? Like, if they don't have the answer,
yeah, they have
when
to
you
have
assemble
either an answer or a card draw spell.
Yeah, and that even is like randomized. They might not be able to get out of it. They could just get unlucky,
Yeah, exactly. And luckily from building stacks, I had most of that deck ready. I think I just had to funnel wild cards into Fable of the Mirror Breaker. I prioritized because I'm hoping they ban it, and then I'll get those wild cards back that I can use on other stuff.
Sure.
And then I need mana base. I mean, I need Sacred Foundries and the red-white flip land, whatever the hell that one's called.
We just call them pathways, yeah.
I made the mistake early on of not investing rare wild cards into land base.
Sure. That way, now you have to do it now.
Shocks and stuff like that.
Yeah. So I used to draft a ton on Arena, and then I never played like any construction. Like right now, I think my vault or whatever, I had like 91 mythics and like 78 rares, and then obviously the other ones like they just. And rarely do I build a deck, and every now and then I'll get like, I probably will start building decks now that when that's like I think everybody's waiting on just the standard rotation, because then theoretically whatever you build is good for a year because they're not going to ban anything else. So there's no more threat or scare of like your stuff being banned. So you can invest into something, and that can be your primary deck for the next year. So I think that's going to be a huge boost to people, either from a paper standpoint, finally getting back into standard, just because there's no fear of, well, I bought Kiki-Jikis Fable the Mirror Breakers, and now they're gone, right? Like, I think that card's going to get banned.
I'm kind of the opposite of you. Like, I pretty much only do constructed on Arena.
Yeah.
Just because of, to do drafts, you got to pay gems or tokens, whatever.
Yeah.
And honestly, I'd rather just spend my gold on packs and just open up packs and get the wild cards.
Yeah.
So I pretty much only draft whenever you're going through the monthly ladder of getting the mastery. That's it. And then get the draft token.
Gotcha.
And I get the free draft token, so I'll go do a draft. And
gotcha.
I think I might have bought one draft for Aftermath just because I really liked. No, I did a sealed Aftermath.
Yeah.
Because I really liked the Aftermath sealed.
Yeah. It's not bad.
Love the Phyrexian. Love playing Phyrexians with the Aftermath sealed. I've been doing black, white, X Phyrexians. Every time I do sealed Aftermath, it's ridiculous.
You get that 1 mana XX card that makes incubator tokens equal to the whatever. Are you like all incubator token guys?
Mostly incubator token guys, and then there's a lot of just like Phyrexian matters.
Mm-hmm.
I usually end up with at least one of the Phyrexian Rule of Law.
Yeah. That guy's, the Phyrexian Sensor is nuts. That card's super sweet.
And I'll usually end up with at least one or two of the the 3-mana enchantment that gives your Phyrexians Vigilance.
Sure.
And I think it incubates like 3 or 4 when it enters the battlefield. And then there's the black-white enchantment that gives all your Phyrexians +1/+1.
Gotcha. All right.
So I usually end up with some of those and then some random Phyrexians. And I usually end up going either Abzan Phyrexians, and I've done Mardu Phyrexians before, and they've both been really strong.
Yeah, right now the mana bases are so good in standard or even in historic. Like your mana base is pretty clean, so you basically have a free reign to kind of do whatever you want, right? If you want to be white, black, plus add whatever color, you can probably do that.
Oh yeah, easily. I mean, I think right now we're in the best standard mana base since con standard when the fetch lands were legal.
Yeah, fetch lands that were able to go and get they call them the tangle lands, where if you controlled 2 basics, they came in and play untapped or whatever. So those are pretty huge. But even now, like the triumphs just make everything really clean, and there's not a way to currently punish it. And even if they come out with one, the last couple sets that they've printed just have so many like random treasure makers. So like color screwing people is really difficult. And I know Fable's one of the biggest treasure makers, but there are like random cards. Like there's the Galagreators that makes treasure. Like there's just so many different cards that create random like inklings of mana that it's rare that you get completely locked out from like mana color screw.
Yeah, which really frustrates me as a Ponza player of how am I supposed to lock people off their mana when they're making all these treasures and stuff, but
that's more of a
it's
philosophy.
actually a lot easier in Modern now than it is in Standard, to be honest.
Yeah, it's more of a philosophy of like Wizards, right? Because land, like the biggest feel bad for most, and this is not like, I'm not saying this is a thing for everybody, but for newer players, is when they're unable to cast their spells due to their lands being blown up. Like people hate that, and then after they've lost to that, they usually upgrade to I hate blue because they don't allow my spells to resolve. Like those are the two things that like players hate, and the game has changed in such a rate from a blue player standpoint that like counter spells are a thing, but not like they're hanging out by like a thread. They're not really like too fantastic anymore. And then like land denial or land destruction is just like something that's off the table for new players. Like they don't want new players to experience that gameplay because it's just like so uninviting.
Yeah, that's the unfortunate thing, especially for someone who like me who's I think there's different terms that float around. I'm a griefer or a salt miner.
Yep.
This is the way I play the game, and my 2 favorite cards of all time will probably never see the light of day in an arena, in Blood Moon and Ensnaring Bridge.
You might get Ensnaring Bridge because of just like they might randomly have it. Is Ensnaring Bridge legal? Because it wasn't it in the. I thought was it not in the archive? One of those. I thought it might exist. I can't remember.
No, Bridge is not on Arena.
Okay, for some reason I thought the Urza set they did like the retro artifacts. For some reason I thought Ensnaring Bridge.
No, we didn't get Bridge with the retros.
God damn, I really thought
I wish we did.
Yeah. But you might end up with something like that where they go back and do retros a couple of years from now. Like it's not coming through a standard set, and it'd be weird for them to increase it for like alchemy, right? I don't know.
I mean, they could maybe throw it in with one of the historic bundles or whatever that they do every now and then.
Yeah.
But I got really excited for it because they were doing the reprint in the Lord of the Rings set as the box top or whatever, and then I saw Lord of the Rings is coming to Arena, but not the box toppers because they don't want Wasteland on Arena either.
No, yeah, there's a lot of stuff going on with Arena, which makes it messy because it's not a 1-to-1 translation of like anything really.
Yeah, I mean, I don't spend a whole lot of money on Arena. I think the only money I spend really is whenever the Mastery rotates, I'll spend on gems to get the Mastery Pass again.
Yep.
But I'll tell you right now, if they put my Lantern pieces on Arena, I would spend whatever amount of money I had to
get it.
So I could sit down on Arena and play Lantern.
That could be a possibility one day. Like you might be able to get like, you might be able to get like a version of Lantern. They might not do exactly the Lantern of Insight, but they might do something similar where it's like a 2-mana variant.
Yeah, and I mean, for me, really, with playing it, I say that, but playing it on Arena, I mean, if I'm going to play it on Arena, I'm going to play it on a computer because trying to look at all the information at the top of the deck and everything on a phone is going to be horrible.
Yeah.
And so at that point, I might as well just boot up Magic Online. That's where I do most of my play anyway right now. In my free time, I mean, besides playing at work, playing Arena at work, because I do, some content. I haven't put up anything in a couple weeks because I've been having issues with Card Hoarder, but so I do most of my recording on Magic Online because I primarily do Ponza and Lantern content.
Oh, sick, dude.
I finally got my Card Hoarder stuff fixed tonight because I tried to return my rental order, and I never got the pop-up on Magic Online for me to trade back.
Yeah, so that I've never had that issue. I've been pretty fortunate with. I use MTGO traders.
Okay.
And it's the same deal where a rental program, just because the rental programs are like honestly they're fantastic because every now and then when I see a deck that I really like, I can just go and boot it up and get it, and I currently have the highest tier one, so just in case I ever need to get whatever card I need to, there's not an issue.
Yeah, mine's the Card Hoarder one is kind of based on your ticket limit. I think it's like 5% or something like that of your ticket limit.
Yeah.
So like I have a 250 ticket limit, but I only pay like $6 a week.
Oh sure, yeah. Dude, it's super worth it. Like,
and since I've bought most of the core Lantern pieces just for my own personal collection, people in Lantern Discord and stuff post lists all the time, just different lists of what they're trying to play or what they're working on, and I'll just go through and take read the rest of the list and then do some videos on it.
Yeah.
So I've done Black Green Lantern, Abzan Lantern. My latest one was Jund Lantern with Brennan 6 and Beseju.
Yeah, that's got to be a complete nightmare for your opponent. Just constantly picking up Beseju and just pop.
And then my most fun one, I actually had a lot of fun one, was Mono Black Lantern. Land base was super cheap. It was a bunch of swamps and Urza Saga. We got main deck removal, lots of main deck. It was actually really close. It didn't have the rack pieces, but it really reminded me of like a hybrid of the rack and Lantern Control.
Sure.
You have so much main deck removal, so much main deck hand disruption that you just need the Shrieking Afflictions and the racks, and you're playing the rack.
Yeah, dude, god damn the rack.
That's actually giving me my next set of videos because a buddy of mine is building 8-rack to play at our local, and so I'm gonna do some 8-rack content for him to watch. And
Sure, man. That sounds awesome. I mean, that's a deck that's like one of those decks that unfortunately died with MH2 just because of. I mean, Lantern's kind of in that same boat just because prismatic ending being everywhere has just made it very difficult for those decks to have any. I mean, you used to have matchups where like, oh, this guy has no way to deal with artifacts in the main deck. I'm just gonna do whatever I want to him. Whereas, and then post board, games 2 and 3, they can bring in some action. But every deck just has main deck ways to deal with all that stuff now.
yeah, I think the two biggest killers to Lantern wasn't even really losing Mox Opal.
Yeah.
Like the deck, I've been playing Lantern at my local, like I said, for a while now, and most weeks, I mean, I think this last week when I lost to Hammer Time with Scam was the first time I'd lost a match
Yeah.
at my local in months.
Sure.
And that's even without having Mox Opal. What really killed Lantern was, like you said, Prismatic Ending and Boseiju.
Well, Boseiju was like, it's one of those things where it's that they might have that's one of those cards that they might have just pushed a little bit too far. Like it's like I don't know if you guys shouldn't have probably did that, but anyways.
Yeah, easily. I mean, the problem is it can't be interacted with. I mean, my only interaction for Boseiju is a Pithing Needle. Luckily, I run 3 of them in the main deck, but it's not like Prismatic Ending where I can just Inquisition you on turn 1 and take it away.
Yeah, the worst part about that, like even if you Pithing Needle it, like you stop the channel ability, but they can still just play it as a land, and you're like, ugh, like it doesn't feel good when they do that. Like, you're just like, I didn't get the advantage I wanted, or so forth,
Yeah, I mean, I'm on Lantern, so I don't care if they play it as a land. I just don't want them blowing up my Ensnaring Bridge.
Right.
Most matchups come down to Ensnaring Bridge. Still.
Right. Well,
honestly, I think we're more creature based now than we were before Modern Horizons.
Yeah, with all the
Storm doesn't exist anymore.
No, and then you have a bunch of elementals that are running around, which to close out some games you're gonna have to attack once in a while.
Yeah, and we're just so creature based now, which is great. I mean, I love creature based Magic. We're kind of getting back to the core of Magic, really.
Right.
By being more creature based than anything. All those old threats that didn't care about Ensnaring Bridge, like Storm, 8-rack for one, and even Burn to a certain point. You don't see Burn nearly as much as you used to.
No, not anymore.
And these are all decks that, cool, you have an Ensnaring Bridge. I don't care. I'm just going to kill you anyway.
Right. All right.
And the closest thing we have to that really now is the Poison Storm with the Rot Priest.
Oh, sure. Yeah.
And that's that's almost as fringe as Lantern Control is. So.
Jeez. Huh. I'm just right now.
I miss the old days. I do.
Oh, we all do. It's hard to look. I mean, we talk about this like kind of ad nauseum on the podcast. Like we look at the old days, and those are the glory days of Magic, and really it's like that's where our connection and affinity is, because that's where that's when we started playing and kind of the communities that were built, and they're kind of going back to that like little by little. Like it's like clawing its way back into reality of like people actually wanting to sit down and play Magic, and like 60 card competitive is like, or 75 card lists are like coming back to like life. People want to get back into like a competitive world. They just did so much in the last during COVID, or like even prior to COVID, where they're like arena, where it's just like all the things are going to be going away because like we just want everything to go to arena, and there was just like such a rejection rate with that, with like, no, I've played the game this long for 15 years. Like, I'm not really looking to get into a client where I have no tradability, because it is, to us a trading card game, and then investing so much money into that, and then just all these other formats of alchemy and all this other, it's me being an old fogey, really what it is. But I think a lot of players.
Yeah, exactly. Because I mean, I got started right after. I think my first Magic cards that I owned were the intro decks, like the whole starter kit of 7th edition, where this is how you stack the deck and these are how you play your turns.
Yep.
And then I got introduced when I was in like 5th grade in Boy Scouts by a guy who had like an old Darksteel deck with like Darksteel Colossus and Platinum Angel.
Yep.
And I played Cafeteria Magic up until probably around World Wake. And then I finally got out, or I got out. I never really paid much attention to, what Magic really was, besides just playing the same deck over and over at the cafeteria table.
Yeah.
And then got back in and actually got into competitive right after Dragons released, like probably a week or two after Dragons released.
Yeah, so your introduction was like Khans of Tarkir, like fetch lands being introduced in the format, a lot of different mechanics from not only Dragon, then Ugin and so forth. So you got to see like a big variety of stuff, and then you had your classic big bad, which was Siege Rhino.
Oh yeah, and I mean I played competitive standard till I want to say right after Eldritch Moon. Might have tinkered with it a little bit with Kaladesh.
Yeah.
But I really, once I got into Modern, I really slammed hard into Modern and never really looked back.
Yeah.
Started with Free Win Red with the turn 1 Blood Moon or turn 1 Ensnaring Bridge.
Yep.
Pivoted over into Lantern, and Lantern's been my baby since pretty much a couple months after Elsic won the GP with it.
Yeah, so I think the hardest part about Lantern and one of the hard pills to swallow, and goes for all Modern decks really, it's just we all thought in the first 8 years of Modern we're kind of like this. We all thought we would have our decks, and that was going to be our baby and what you would play, right? So many cards have just been outclassed where your old deck, like such as Lantern, it's difficult to play because it's you can still get remnants of like those old decks, but like Tarmogoyf is a perfect example. Like Tarmogoyf used to be the $200 card. It's now $15. Like nobody's really playing that card, and that was this card is going to be here and it's eternal forever, and that's just not a thing anymore. Like Modern is now subjected to like theoretical like rotation. When Lord of the Rings comes out, we're probably going to see some busted stuff that we don't know it's busted yet, but whatever that is going to be, it's going to push out not Ragavans, it's going to push out older cards that are still hanging on,
Yeah, I'm not looking forward to that at all. I mean, on two standpoints of I hate Modern rotating, even though it's not technically a rotation,
right.
It's a pseudo-rotation.
Yep.
And I'm not excited at all for the Lord of the Rings set.
Yeah, it's going to be probably more Commander focused than we realized.
Yeah, that's what I'm hoping for, because honestly, I don't care about the Universes Beyond stuff. If they want to do that, that's cool.
Yeah.
Keep it to Commander.
Yeah.
Your Commander decks like the Warhammer decks, or Secret Layers like the Walking Dead stuff, but don't start throwing these theme stuff into the competitive formats, like Modern.
Yeah, I mean, I used to be.
I don't have to play Frodo to win a Pro Tour. You know what I mean?
Sure, I used to be.
I'm playing Magic. I'm not playing Lord of the Rings.
Yeah, I used to be against that, and I've kind of accepted the reality of like they're going to use the IP of Magic, or sorry, they're going to use it's kind of like Smash Brothers, right? This is the vessel of where we're going to go gather IPs and just throw them into this, and hopefully, like from like a Smash Bros standpoint, like people that love Street Fighter might come and play Smash Brothers because Ryu is in it, or Ryu and Ken, and they're doing the same thing with Magic. What they're doing is maximizing their reach, and the only way to do that is to use IPs, and that's I can't imagine them ever changing that model, because I had friends growing up that were big Warhammer fans, and they went out and bought Warhammer decks because they're like, dude, this is so cool, and now they play Magic because of Warhammer, and that would never have been true if they didn't do this IP thing. And I'm a lifelong player. I'm not quitting, so I don't know what they would have to do to make me quit, but it's gonna be tough, right? I don't know what that thing is. I can't fathom it unless they were just like, hey, to play in this tournament, you got to burn all your cards right now. You need to send a video of it.
Yeah, like I said, for me, it's just I don't want it in the competitive formats. I don't care about Commander. Do your thing.
Right.
That's great. I like Commander. It's casual format. If you want to sit down and play, Frodo versus the 11th Doctor, have fun.
Sure, it's gonna be tough, dude. That's gonna bleed in. That's what's unfortunate about it
all. It's just for me. I think the only IP I wouldn't necessarily have a problem with. I mean, I'd probably still mostly feel the same way. Keep it to Commander, and honestly, this IP is never going to happen, so it's not even worth it. But Star Wars.
Yeah, I mean, Star Wars has got its own. It's too big of a conglomerate. Like Magic would have to pay too much to get any licensing of like a Darth Vader card, right?
Yeah, especially now that Disney owns it. I mean, I think it was fringe possible pre-Disney, but now that Disney owns it, it's not going to happen. We're
Yeah.
just gonna see Darth Vader and Lorcana instead.
Yeah, for sure. And that
Are
those
you gonna
look.
do that at all?
I have been watching. I've been keeping a close eye on it. I have a friend who's gonna go who used to buy a lot of sealed product for Magic. He's gonna turn all of his efforts to Lorcana just because I think Lorcana is gonna have a lot of. I don't think it's gonna be similar to Pokemon, where like I don't know how much you watch like YouTube videos of people opening up packs, but like the Pokemon world is so big. Like if you think about like MTG, nobody's really opening packs, right? The content that you're looking at, or the most popular content, would be one Commander content, which is played like people playing, but like the number one like Pokemon like content is just pack openings of getting like the hits. Like, oh, I opened up the $300 Giga Pikachu. I think the same is going to be true of Lorcana, where the game is not going to be played so much. It's going to be, oh, you got the super duper Mickey Mouse or whatever the hell it is. And there's going to be so many people going into that avenue of like, I want to see people do pack openings of Lorcana versus actually playing the game.
Yeah, you're probably right there. I never really watched much Pokemon content on YouTube.
There's just not a
But
lot out there.
I played the TCG online a
Yep.
lot.
Yeah.
But I'm kind of in the same boat with Lorcana where, if it seems like the game is taking off, I might try to build a deck just to have around.
Sure.
But if anything, I'm just going to buy a booster box and sit on it.
Yeah.
Best case scenario, it turns out like Alpha Magic where I've got a sealed booster box that's worth a few $1,000s. And worst case scenario, if the game completely flops, and it's still Disney product sealed, that is still either going to hold value or even increase a little bit.
Yep.
I mean, even like the old Harry Potter TCG that's been dead for years and years. If you go on eBay, you can find sealed packs and sealed booster boxes for more than what Magic set booster boxes and stuff are selling for.
Yeah, so that one, that the Harry Potter TCG is like, that one's purely due to scarcity. Like, there's, I don't know, let's say a booster, like every time a set comes out from Magic, there's, we'll call it 50 million boxes. Of that Harry Potter TCG, maybe a million or a little, and of that million, how many are still like out there and sealed? Probably, it's probably in the thousands. Like, I can't imagine there's like 50,000 boxes out there or 100,000 boxes that are flooding the market, right? And that's why like Magic, like Alpha, there's only, I don't know, I don't know the exact breakdown. Someone's probably done the math, but Lorcana is not going to be that. That's going to be mass print. It's going to be in every single Target. You're going to have probably the classic like rush to the Target or rush to your Walmart and people fighting over that crap, or all that nonsense, because it'll be scarce in the beginning, and then unlike Magic, they can just reprint like Wave 2 or First Edition. I hate when card games do that, when they do a First Edition and then like I don't know, it just bothers me. I love the Magic model of this is the set. I mean, they have added set boosters and other versions of ways to open packs, but like First Edition versus like Second Edition versus whatever, it annoys the hell out of me. I don't know why.
Well, I mean, Magic did that in the beginning too with Alpha and Beta.
Yep. But
you talk about the collector packs and stuff like that. That's just another thing that's I hate about Magic now is, collector packs are cool.
Yeah.
And they're a little expensive in my opinion. I don't buy them very often.
Sure.
But 15 cards of, usually good value.
Yep.
But then you got the set boosters and the draft boosters, and you get you go to Walmart and you get the draft the draft packs or whatever that have like 3 boosters in it.
Oh yeah, I mean, don't get me wrong. There's product fatigue everywhere. Like there's so much thrown at you versus just the classic. Here's the booster box that we're coming out with, and buy it.
Yeah, I'd be super happy to just cut out the set boosters. If you're gonna do something special for a booster, just throw it in the draft booster.
Yeah.
And go back to just draft boosters and keep the collector boosters around if you want that extra money.
Yeah. So
if you want the special versions in there.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know what sells more, but collector boosters definitely, like the foil game is like, foils aren't worth anything anymore. They used to be like cool and like fun to get. Now they're just like, dude, I got boxes of just foils that are just like, I couldn't get this many foils if I would have to open like 10 cases to get this many foils. Like, but you can do it with one collector box and you have more foils than 10 cases worth back then, right? So like the old school foils have such value because they're actually hard to find, whereas like every foil that comes out now, it's the same price as the non-foil, or sometimes less because the curl.
Yeah, I think I got really lucky there and it's probably saved a lot of money. Is I was never really into the foil game.
Yeah.
If I pulled one, awesome. If I managed to pick one up in a trade, cool.
Yeah.
But my vice has always been non-English cards.
Yeah. JB
I'll
is
try
all
to
about
non-English the crap out of a deck.
that.
Before the Mox Opal ban, my Whir Lantern deck was everything except for my Mishra's Baubles was non-English.
Yeah. I mean,
and then most of the cards were signed.
yeah. So I think.
And the salt that I would get by taking almost completely non-English Lantern Control to an SCG Open back in the day.
Yeah.
And then the judge calls.
Yeah. What does this card do? And that was kind of like, if Lantern wasn't like a popular deck that you saw all the time. It was like, it's the deck, and then when you played against, you're like, all right, have I actually ever played against this deck, and how do I beat it?
Yeah, I mean, I got a little bit lucky then, as opposed to, back when it was still a really fringe deck after Zach Elsick won the GP.
Mm-hmm.
But when I was on World Lantern, I mean, this was the era right around the time it was winning the Pro Tour, and it was actually seeing a lot of high-profile attention. So there were more people that actually knew what the cards did. But, I mean, there were some people that you could tell were just calling Judge for Oracle text out of spite.
Yeah, like, I need to know what this does. Yeah. Yeah, this new announcement for Standard, it makes me excited to play Standard, because I like Standard. Like, until about after Kaladesh came out. Once Kaladesh came out, I didn't really care for Standard. I was like, I don't really like this. But I'd like to get back into it, and I think what they're doing with adding a Euro, which gives longevity, and then we don't need a set. Like, I like when they do sets that are like, okay, we don't have 5 rare lands, right? I always like that, because it's like, okay, well, every set now has to have like a 5 land cycle, and it's like, well, I would just rather have like the triomes last longer, and this is kind of what they're doing, and then they can have a set that's like, all right, we have no mana fixing in this set, we're just gonna do bangers. Versus like, here's reprints of Pain Lands again. You're like, God damn it, I don't need my 7th and 8th and 9th Yavimaya Coast.
Yeah, I do like the extra year for Standard, mostly because, like I said, the one Standard deck that I play, that deck is like 75-80% Kamigawa.
Yeah.
Because you got all the spirits and the enchantments and stuff like that. That was all going to go away. So I was just kind of resigned to, okay, cool, I'm not playing Standard after this. I'm going to invest my wild cards into Explorer and Historic.
Yeah.
But I think in paper, if prices go down, then I might play paper Standard, just because I don't really want to shell out $400, $500 for a deck that's going to rotate.
Yeah.
If I'm going to get into another paper format, I'll probably just build a Pioneer deck.
Yeah, I mean, we've been fortunate with that. Like, we've I mean, aside from Shieldred's like the exception. Like, Mythics are pretty low price. Like, every now and then you get like Meat Hook Massacre, the Great Henge, which are these like super chase EDH cards, and then those drive up the prices of those. But like, if you look at like here full of Standard decks, like, they don't really cost too much. Like, Rakdos only has like such a high price point because of the what's it called, Shieldreds. Like, you take out 3 Shieldreds, you knock out 2100 to 240 off this deck, and now this deck's only $300, and it's a lot cheaper. And when you look at it, it's like your Blackleaf Clips, they just reprinted those, so those got cheaper. Like, you probably need these lands, and these are probably going to be something you'll want to keep for the rest of your life, just because you'll need them. And then like, just bulk. I can't believe Sulfurous Springs is up to $4. That's wild too. But like, the other cards are pretty cheap, man. They don't really cost too much. Like, you think Regular Bankbuster would be more, but like, Fable's expensive because it's like a multi-format all-star, right?
Oh yeah, seeing play everywhere. I mean, it's even seeing play in Legacy. So
yeah, I mean, like Chandra, for example, it's like a $9 Mythic, like $10. Like, that's so reasonable, right? Like, it's, whereas back then, like a Baneslayer Angel or a Jace the Mind Sculptor reached up to $100. And those were crazy. Like that was nuts. And those were because they were in a small set. M10 when it first got printed was a really limited set, and then also World Wake was scarce. It was hard to get World Wake products, so like getting 4 Jaces was like impossible. Like people had it, but it's just like, you know, your local shop would have like 2 guys that had a playset of Jace, a couple other guys that had 2 to maybe 3 Jaces, and then everybody else either had 1 or 0. Like, and that's just the way it was. And you'd go to like these 40-man FNMs, whereas now everybody in the room probably has a set of Fables, just because the amount of Fables they print, like it's so much, like everything is just printed to oblivion.
Yeah, I miss those days a little bit. Like I said, I got out a cafeteria table right around World Wake. But
Yeah,
I definitely see what you mean, because it's even, you know, different now versus when I got in with cons and dragons and stuff. Where, you know, Siege Rhino, I mean, it was probably a lot more common than, you know, Jace the Mind Sculptor and Baneslayer were.
dude.
But you're still not seeing them all. Oh, back then you weren't seeing them all over the place,
Yeah.
like you were, like you are seeing Fables and stuff now.
Yeah.
Yeah, everybody in the room's got a playset of Fables. Everybody in the room's probably got at least 2 Shieldreds.
Right.
Because, you know, they're just printing everything to death.
Yeah. So like where Shieldred gets its price from is, you know, Commander players want it to play in their wheel decks, and like like when you look at like EDH decks, people are like, well, I have, you know, 9 EDH decks and 3 of them are black, so I want 3 Shieldreds. Like, oh, well, those are just going off the market for good. They're never coming back, because usually they go into a Commander deck. For most instances, they go into a Commander deck and they die there. Like, they don't ever leave.
Yeah, I'm a little bit different, because at the price of Shieldred, if I have 3 decks that are running it, I'm going to buy 1 Shieldred and swap it around decks.
Yeah, some people do that too, right? Like it's all. That's actually probably your situation. What you're describing is more common.
I mean, I don't have a whole lot of disposable income to throw at Magic anyway, so if I do need a card, like, I mean, I had a bunch of Judge promos and stuff that I ended up selling off that bought me my playset of Ragavans for scam.
Yeah.
And so it's when I'm, you know, in Arena and Magic Online, building something is not a big deal. Arena is going to take me a while because of wild card, but in Magic Online, I can just do it with the click of a button, really, with the rentals. But when it comes to paper, I've really got to kind of pick and choose where I want to put, you know, my disposable income at.
Right.
And luckily, I've gotten to the point now where to finish everything, every project that I'm currently working on is only going to cost me like $250 to $300.
Sure.
And that's just getting the pieces for all the versions of Lantern, except for the versions that run Ren and 6, getting them in non-English.
Yeah.
And then finishing up my Chaos EDH, my Arcades EDH, and that one's only going to be like $20 to finish Arcades.
Right.
And then I'm working on an unset cube that's going to cost me like $50 to finish.
Nice.
Well, plus, that's only going to cost me that much because I'm buying proxies because it uses the holiday promos.
Oh, sure. Gotcha.
Holiday promos, and those are all like $50-$60 or more.
Yeah, those are.
Those.
Yeah, those have those price points just because of scarcity. Like it's like 1 per store gets them, something like that. They're not like an on-sale where you get millions of them. Man, card prices. Every now and then it's fun looking at like just like some card prices and just seeing like the craziness of like how things have changed. Like Karn in my head, it's like I think it's a $70 card. It's only like $15. It's just because printed the hell out of it, you know.
Yeah, I mean, even talk about Fable being so common. I could have sworn somewhere I had seen that it was approaching like $50.
It's like $30.
Like, no, it's only like $25.
Yeah, it's not bad.
I need 2. Technically, I need 2 for scam.
Yeah.
I'm just running 4 Blood Moons instead of 2-2 split. But eventually, I'm going to need 2 for scam.
Hey, so this card is like the classic multi-format like all-star. So people that play Legacy want it, people that play Modern want it, people that play all the formats. And I don't know how good it is in like Commander, but usually in the formats that you play at like Pioneer, Standard, and Modern, like it's not a 2 of, it's a 4 of. So it's like everybody who's playing like Magic players as a collective want to go out and get this, because if you look at like any other rare, like from like standard, like the price is like Bank Buster is like $6. Like it ain't much, right? Like even like Invoke Despair is like a bulk. It's $1.45 for this card, and this is like a format all-star. It's just not played, you know.
Yeah, it's a format all-star. It's a format all-star in a rotating format.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I think it'd be different if it was an all-star in like Modern or Legacy.
Yeah, of course. But then you're seeing a whole different world, right? But like then like if you look at like for like right now I'm looking at mono black control for standard. We take out the Shieldrids and this deck, you know, we'll call Shieldred $210. This deck is $250 at the most, and that's like if you're not trying to be budget about it. Like you have a fraction obliterators which are somehow $10. Like things are just nowhere near what they are, like what they used to be. Like things you can get decks like this deck right here, Selesnya aggro. It's $200. Like what else do you want, you know? And this deck is also playing like a Boseiju, which you knock off that card out of the deck. It's like that's $35 right off the top. So this deck's like under like 150, and this is like the range where standard really needs to be, because when people love standard, and this is like from a timeline that I played, decks that were the top, like I mean, you played with Siege Rhino. That deck wasn't that expensive. It was like you had $2 Siege Rhinos, and then like you had maybe an Ugin or two, and then you had Wingmate Rock, which was in there, but the rest of the deck was like pretty cheap because your land base sucked, because you had Pain Lands, which were printed at high hell, and then you had like Sandstep Citadel, which is a tri-land that comes into play tapped, right? So like the deck just wasn't expensive.
We were playing fetch lands.
Yeah, there was. They were also printed in that set, so like they were at an abundance. Like everybody wanted them, right? You wanted your 4 what's the, I can't remember, the Windswept Heaths, right? Like, and those were like $10 at the most.
And even back then, I mean, technically they were printed in 2 sets, because you could they came in cons packs.
Yeah.
But you could also crack them open in Fate Reforged packs.
Yeah. Yep.
So it's common, but you could get them.
Yeah, but like I think standard thrives when the decks, like, so when I started playing Magic, it was like Bloodbraid Elf into Blightning, Spreading Thrynax, and Putrid Leech, all cards that were common and uncommon that were like essentially, you know, Bloodbraid Elf was maybe $4 an uncommon, but the rest of it was all like 30 cents, 50 cents. And that was like a huge meta deck that people played the hell out of. And like people, there's always the best deck that people hate on, whether it's Mono Black, whether it's Jeskai, you name it. But it was cheap, and it was also easy to counter, and everybody was running it because it was like $250 at the most. Like that's if you got like every land that you needed and so forth. And that's what keeps people going to standard. It's I can throw $150 and play this for the next 9 months. Yeah, I'm in, you know?
Yeah, that would definitely be no hesitation for me on that. I mean,
that's what they want to do.
My standard introduction was I bought, you know, one of the intro decks or theme decks or whatever from cons. It was like the Black White Warriors one that was horrible. Got completely thrashed at my first F&M.
Right.
And there was a dude that was, you know, taking apart a bunch of decks, had a whole bunch of cards just sitting on the table, and he said, "Hey, does anybody want these?" And it's like, well, I'm just getting into the game. I'll take them if you don't mind.
Yeah.
And I built Red Deck Wins out of that box and ran it for, you know, a couple of years just with just minor adjustments, really.
Yeah, I mean, and that's what like standards really feel like. And I think what they're doing with the banning that's coming, where it's like we're only gonna ban, like there's gonna be an emergency ban period where it's like, whoops, we printed a card, mistake, our bad, but we're gonna do a once-a-year ban. And that's when we're going to hit all the cards. And then from that on out, you're good to go. Like, you don't have to worry about, like, what's stopping people from, like, investing into Shieldrids. Well, on Monday, they might get banned. So you might have invested $220 into Shieldrids, and now you can't play them in Standard. Though you can find another format for it, but it's, like, that's a huge risk, and that's what's keeping people at bay of, like, actually jumping into Standard.
Oh, yeah, I'd just rather wait and see if it gets banned and hope, and if it does, then I'll wait for the price to tank and buy a set for Pioneer.
Right.
Because I got no problem playing like a mono black devotion list in Pioneer.
Right. So I think
Shieldred with Obliterator.
So I think we're gonna see that soon. Like, once this Monday passes, there's probably gonna be a giant spike of cards that survived the ban. You know, because everybody's like, okay, these cards are good for a year. I don't have to worry about them getting banned anymore. So. You know, and then they'll talk more about that philosophy, but I don't know how in depth they're really going to go.
Yeah, I wouldn't hate a Shieldred ban. I mean, like I don't do much standard, so the banning doesn't really affect me at
Right.
all.
Right.
But I bought a Phyrexia collector booster a while back just on impulse, and got like a foil showcase obliterator, and I was super hyped about it. And then I looked and it was like $8.
Yeah, it's
So if Shieldred gets banned, then obliterator takes over that 4-drop slot in standard, and maybe he goes up a little bit. So
yeah. All right, man. All right, Lore Prophet. Thanks for coming on the show, dude. It's always much appreciated.
yeah, thanks for having me.
Absolutely, dude. But that's where we're gonna wrap today, man. And then if you want, send me your details to your YouTube channel, and then when I post it, because I usually do the after show as a separate video, I'll put those in the link descriptions.
All right, cool. Thanks. Appreciate it.
All right, man.